Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Poker Night Live. Now tonight we have not only all the usual commentary, question and answer on some of the greatest Texas Hold'em online games in the UK, but we also have a very special guest here in the studio. This man is a poker legend, and that's not overstating the case. He is well known all over the world. He has 10 World Series of Poker bracelets, 2 of those for back-to-back championships. The man is an authority and an author. He's also been inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame. As if all of that wasn't enough, he's also sitting next to our very own Mr. Nick Wealthall. It's Johnny Chan.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. I thought it was me you were talking about for the first bit, and then I realised.
Yeah.
It's great to see you, Johnny. Thank you for doing the show.
It is my pleasure to be here. London is beautiful, a lot of history and great museum, and I love this town.
It was a good time. And what brings you over here this time?
Actually, I was promoting my poker tournament in Turks and Caicos Island, which is called Johnny Chan Challenger. First week of September of this year. It's $5,000 buy-in.
So it's Turks and Caicos Islands.
Right.
Slumming the location. Unfortunately, you've got to go to Turks and Caicos.
It's one of the prettiest islands in the world. Some say this is the #1 island in the world.
And you're going to bring 1,000 poker players to invade it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Maybe more.
Fantastic. And you're doing some things with Bob the Butcher Clark over here at the moment, is that right?
Yeah, Bob the Butcher going to have a tournament here tomorrow at the Westin Hotel, and I'm going to play in it, and I'm looking forward to see everybody be there and win lots of money.
Excellent. So guys, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, and I know you're not doing anything now, why not get down to the Westin and play the great Johnny Chan?
Yeah.
Hey.
And if that isn't enough, you now have the opportunity, the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, to ask a poker legend your poker questions. Now, Johnny's been kind enough to agree to answer a few questions, so this is how you can get them into us here in the studio. There's a couple of different ways. Just like usual, you can text the word poker and your question to 84222. And you can also send us an email, and we're going to try and get as many of those on as we can. And the email address is poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. So make sure you take advantage of that, because this really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for people to actually get a bit of advice on poker. Not that you're not an expert, Nick, obviously, but...
Not anymore. I was.
In the ranking of experts.
I'm definitely below. We were just this is how you can tell a poker expert. We were comparing watches earlier. And Johnny wins. Johnny, show the kids at home your watch. That is a proper bling bling watch. And how do you get one of those?
Nick, if all you have to do is win 10 gold bracelet, I promise I'm buying you one.
There you go. That's all
that goes to you.
Excellent. So
the price is right.
Easy. I'm going to start this summer.
Yeah. Start working now.
You got to start somewhere.
But we were saying we don't think anyone's going to be able to do that now because the fields are so big.
Mm.
Well, you never know. All you got to do is try.
All you got to do is
if you don't try, you never know, right?
That's true. Completely true. Johnny, tell us, the guys at home will all know who you are, of course, and they'll all know about your poker achievements. Tell us a little bit about how you got started out and how you first got into the game.
Well, first, we play with friends. In the weekend, we play nickels and dimes. Back home, we play Mexican sweat, dealer's choice. And at the night, you won $20. You got to buy everybody breakfast. So we go to Denny's and spend that $20 for breakfast. But you know, it's not the winning or losing. It's just being among friends, having a good time, passing time, and learning the game. And look where I'm at today.
Exactly. And do you think, just an invitation to be modest or not? Do you think were you always good when you immediately started playing? Do you think you had an ability for it, or did you learn to be good?
You know, there's no such thing born to be good poker player. You have to practice and practice. You got to love the game. If you don't love the game, I don't care how good you are. You're not going to be a good player. You got to play it, enjoy it, and you can make a living out of it. A great living. I mean, people make hundreds and $1,000s, and you know you can be your own boss. You don't have to show up to work. When you can show up to work anytime you want, or you would decide to take off a month or two. It's your own business. it's the best business that I ever got into.
Yeah, it works out good for you, no question, no question.
But you also have to put a lot of work into it, don't you? I read an article where you were saying it was 60+ hours a week, and you were, you know, working all the time at poker, play.
You know, when I first moved to Vegas in the late 70s and early 80s, I loved the game so much, I didn't even care to go home. If they have a bet in the poker room, I would just slip there, wake up and play. But unfortunately, can't do that in the casino. So I have to go home sometimes. So I just love the game, and that's why you know, I get to where I'm at today.
Do you think it's one of the reasons you've been successful, because you love it so much? Because it isn't, you know, you don't have to push yourself to do it or push yourself to study. It's just what you would be doing. If you could choose anything, it's what you'd be doing.
If I live a next life, I would choose the same thing. I enjoy what I do,
Yeah.
playing poker.
Well, it's, you know, you're a lucky man to anybody that loves what they do is a lucky man, right?
Anybody had the ability to do it is a lucky man. I mean, you know, some people's are losing, some people's are winners. So, but if you practice enough, you're always going to come out ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you have an unbelievable biography when it comes to poker. I mean, you've got the World Series of Poker, you've got the Poker Hall of Fame, you've got all of these things behind you. You're an author, as we said. You're in the movie Rounders as well, so you're incredibly visible in the world of poker. But what is your one crowning achievement? Which one thing would you put down as...
Is it tonight?
Is it? Can you say it is, even if it's not?
It's tonight. I'm glad to be here. I mean, UK is great. I mean, I'm here live poker.
See? There you go.
Live poker. I mean, where else would I want to be?
Favorite show. It's favorite show ever, you can tell.
Could you pick one win? Which would it be?
One win, winning the big one again, of course. I mean, now back then was only $700,000 first prize. Now I think this year going to reach approximately $8 to $10 million for first prize. If you win one of those tournaments, you almost can retire for life.
Yeah, yeah, extraordinary.
Absolutely.
And now the field's so big. Mm-hmm. How big do you think the luck factor is? Because you're now playing so many thousands of people.
The luck factor is huge. I mean, you got to go all in at least 10 times during the tournament.
Right.
And you got to win every one of those hands. If you lose one of them, when you go all in, you're out the door.
Yeah.
So you got to have, cats only have 9 lives. You need 10 lives in this major tournament. So good luck, everybody, including me.
And now we've heard about this, the new event this year, the 50,000 horse event that's going to be, presumably you'll be playing.
Oh, absolutely.
And do you think, one of the questions we had from John Boy Rebel, one of our viewers, was do you think that is the World Championship? That's more of a credible title than the big one now, because it tests you across all games and because there'll be less players and so less of a luck factor?
Well, this tournament with we call it a horse. So it's you play all games, you test your skills. Whoever wins that game, that tells, you know, this guy's all-around player. So you know, if you win it one time, doesn't mean you're the best player in the world, but you might be the best player that year.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be a new champion. But at least that shows you're an all-round player instead of just one game.
Yeah, a lot of our viewers only play Hold'em because it seems to be the dominant game, and on the internet, I think it's like 80–90% of games are Hold'em. Do you think they should play other games? What advice could you give them should they be learning other games?
My advice is they should learn every game, because you never know. Right now, Hold'em's hot. Next year might be Omaha. Yeah. Next year might be 7-card stud. So if you're good in every game, it doesn't matter what they play. You're going to be right there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Zitty R's, another one of our viewers, would like to know, oh, you've got this one, I'm nicking your question.
No, that's absolutely fine.
He would like to know what you consider your best game to be.
My best game is No Limit Hold'em.
Yeah?
Yes.
I could definitely take you.
Oh.
Not a prayer. Not a prayer. I could play for one hand and I'd have a 50-50 chance.
I think someone's still dreaming. I think maybe just
definitely
a little,
dreaming
a little bit there.
No Limit Hold'em, and do you have any games that you don't like to play or any lesser favourite games?
I don't like to play RAS. I mean, only one. Only. Yeah, I don't know. You guys know what RAS is?
A lot of the viewers, it's stud for low.
Yeah,
right?
RAS like 7-card stud. The worst hand wins. You can in RAS you can start with like ABC 1, 2, and 3. You might end up with a full house. If you're playing 7-card stud, you would start with 2 aces. The worst you can come up with, at least got a pair of aces.
Yeah.
But full house and RAS is an ugly hand. You can't win nothing.
Yeah.
So that's the one reason I don't like to play RAS. RAS is take the skill out take the poker skill out of the game.
And will that be in the horse tournament or not?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think part of the game. But you know, we got to do what we got to do.
You'll probably still be all right, I reckon.
I think so. I'll try.
I don't think there'll be a problem there. But we were saying how big the field has become, and now the next World Series of Poker, it's going to have something like 5,000 entrants and that sort of thing. Do you think it's becoming more of an endurance test than
More
even
like
a test
8,000. It's not.
Really?
Last year was over 5,000.
Yeah.
So this year they expect between 7,000 and 8,000
Wow.
players. So you're gonna have $70 to $80 million in prize money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
It's massive.
That's a lot of money.
It really is, but it's a real endurance test as well, because that is a lot of time spent playing poker, really focused, really, going up against others of the best players in the world, so just to whittle it down to the finals. That's a heck of a thing.
You got a lot of patience. You gotta be lucky every single hand that you play it during that 8-day tournament.
So do you prefer the tournament structure, or do you like to do the side games and the cash games?
I love the side games because, like going to work, I come to work, I make enough money, I quit and go whatever I want to do. But in a tournament, you can't. You just sit there. We play for 2 hours, an hour and a half. You can go to the bathroom for 10 minutes. Like last year, we played at the World Series. We play hour and a half. We go to the bathroom for 15 minutes. Next thing you know, there's 2,000 people standing in line. Use the toilet.
Oh.
So
Be a real player. Go at the table, right?
Oh.
I mean, that's Nick. That's a good idea. Bring your own bottle. Or something.
Yeah,
That's my
empty
tip
it,
for
fill it
World
again.
Series success.
Nice.
There was a lot of complaints last year during the World Series. The main complaint was the toilet. Nobody, the players they only have 15 minutes. The sad part about it, if you late, they take your money and ante you up. And there's no defense for it. Why are you late? Everybody's not late. Yeah, because I was standing in line for the toilet.
Do you think, Johnny? Do you think there should be a cap on it? Do you think there should be a maximum number of entrants? Do you think it's too big now?
Well, it's not up to me. I think the more players, the better, actually.
Okay.
Because to make the prize pool bigger, so everybody can walk. Like if you finish 100, at least you get some money back. So which is fair.
Yeah. Now, most of the games that we cover are small buying games. Those are the
Okay.
games we cover on the show.
Yeah.
And most of our viewers will play up to maybe 5-10 No Limit Hold'em
Okay.
blinds. Many of them will play less. You play in stakes way, way above that. Your normal cash game would be...
Well, Nick, when I first started playing poker, when I went to Vegas, I played $1 in $3, 7-card stud with a dime ante, and then I moved to $3 and $6 limit hold'em with $2 and $3 blind, and then I played 5 and 10 and 10 and 20.
Everyone starts at the bottom, right, in poker?
You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's playing poker like going to school. You cannot just start playing so high. Now you don't know what to do. When you start from the bottom, you start finish first grade, second grade. You move your way up there, and you reach that point. You can play any limit, any stick. You'll be okay.
Guys, I hope you're listening, because we have a lot of people that want to play higher, and they want to play higher quickly, and they get impatient, and then they email us and say, I lost my bankroll, or I lost too much of my money, etc. So you've got to play up, right? You've got to work your way up. All the great ones do it.
That's right. You have to start with, even though you think you're good. But why don't you just try to beat the $10 and $20 game? If you beat that, go to 20-40. you beat that? Let's keep going up until, okay, this is too, I can't beat this game. I better go back down where I belong.
I think people have an ego about it though as well, don't they? They like to play high and they get carried away maybe.
Well, we all like to play high. The question, can our bankroll afford it? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's okay to play high, but you also got to watch your bankroll, and money management is very important, Nick. I mean, a lot of people overplay their bankroll, but they play scare money. That's why, like you said earlier, they go broke. It happens. But you also learn not to play over your bankroll. That was a lesson, which is okay. I used to lose. I used to go broke. So soon as, after a while, you get the hang of it. Okay, all right, I'm not going back. That is an ugly road to go to. Let's go to the. I see the light over there.
Yeah, you have to learn the hard way, don't you?
Sure.
It's one of those things that you can tell somebody, but until they experience it, they don't learn properly, right?
Yeah, well, speaking of learning, we have a question here from one of our regular viewers. This is they're getting in there quick and fast because they desperately want some advice from you, and they're taking advantage of this. This is from one of our viewers called Hugh, Dead Spiders, and he says, "Good evening, guys. Question for Johnny."
What about you?
Well,
Okay.
and me as well. There we go.
You're part of the guys, aren't you?
I'm one of the guys. Yeah. He says, "Hi, Johnny. Poker writers often talk about levels of thinking where you try to work out, number 1, what he has, number 2, what he thinks you have, and number 3, what he thinks you've placed him on." Right. And according to Sklansky in Hold'em Poker, I think, the he thinks I think can be extended many levels ahead of this until it gets so complex that you just resort to using game theory to figure the whole thing out. At the world-class level, how far do you actually take this? What level of thinking do you go to? Assuming you're placing the guy on a basket of possible hands, not one specific holding, doesn't this at some stage dilute the value of any conclusion you could take from going to that extra level? So what I think he's asking there is, I know. See, they are very in-depth, some of our viewers. But basically what he's asking is, what sort of level of thinking do you go to? Do you actually do the whole, I've got this, he thinks I've got this, but I think he thinks I think he's got that, you know?
You know, if you play in a hand, in a pot, if you start thinking what he thinks and what I think and what they think, you lose track of what's in the pot, what the value, what the percentage of the pot, and all that. You know, when you start playing a hand, you know, you should know you should know what your opponent approximately what they have already. So once you go into flop, and then you start thinking, okay, if I put him on this hand, now I know he didn't hit nothing. Now if he bet, I'm going to call maybe on 4th street or the 5th street, take the pot away from him. Just think about those things, how to win, instead of thinking, does he know what I have? No, he doesn't know what I have. Start thinking that your mind keeps spinning. So when you start thinking so much, you misplay your hand.
So you put your emphasis on winning. You're thinking, how can I get this pot? How can I take this pot away from this guy, basically?
Yeah, exactly. When you put your money in there, you want to win, right? This is how to win.
Sure.
That's the whole key. You miss the conception of winning the pot. Instead of thinking, what is he thinking? Is he thinking I got this hand, or I think he had that hand? You know, before you play the hand, you should already put a guy on the hand right away. So, you know, and then now see how he played on the flop or after the flop.
Okay, that's great advice. There you go, Hugh. Hugh also wanted to know what sort of notes you make on players, whether mental notes at a live game, or do you actually take notes when you're playing online?
You know, it's so funny. When you play online, you don't know who you'll play against. You could play against my grandmother.
I bet she's better than my grandmother.
Sure, I mean, you can take note, but, you know, playing on the internet is nothing like playing in a live game. You can feel the card, you can see the guys, how he put his chips into the pot, and how, you know, you can watch his hands, how he bluff, or how when he's not bluffing, or whenever he's bluffing. The real thing is very important.
Okay, well there you go, Hugh. That was for you. Now, anyone else out there who has questions that they'd like to ask Johnny, you guys are already getting them in thick and fast, so make sure you do that. It's just for this 1 hour. You can text us, text the word poker and your question to 84222, or you can send us an email here, and we will try to get through as many as we can. poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get through all of them, I imagine, because there's going to be loads of them, and there already are. But do try, because We'd love to get your questions in.
This is normal, so I've been there and done it. So what the ESPN show? Okay.
Now, Johnny, you've got a new book and website coming out very soon, which sounds exciting. Rush to Win.
Rush to Win is an educational site.
Okay.
Teach people how to play poker with any 2 card that you pick up at any position, and you know exactly what the percentage is to winning or losing, and just throw your hands away.
So this is as you play, or you can put it in like a simulator, or?
You can put in a simulator.
Right.
You cannot just keep going through the books every hand you play. Okay, I played up 6, 7. Should I play? What's the percentage? You just
I understand.
practice.
So you're playing online, and
you can play online, or you can play a live games too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. And the book is goes along with it, does it, or the book is completely different?
The books goes along with it.
Cool.
It's into making. It's not quite finished. I'm trying to rush it, but sometimes you just can't. I don't want to make a mistake either. Of
course.
So I got to be extremely careful.
And when does the website come on?
In 60 days.
In 60 days.
Yes.
So a couple of months. Rush to Win. It's Rush to with
Number
the number 2 win.
Win. Give me the money. Send me the money.
That's the magic.
Okay.
That is the magic right there. Well, now you've got, this is going to be your 3rd book, is that right?
This is going to be my 3rd book. And also I'm coming with a website called chanpoker.com, which anybody can gamble on it. It's just a poker site. And I don't take any American bets, and just anybody from Europe and UK welcome to play on it. Should be launched in 30 to 60 days also.
Fantastic.
That's great.
Hey, I'm working.
You are working. How much do you play these days? How much time do you spend playing, and how much time do you spend on other activities?
With this two project, the last 6 months, I hardly ever play because there's a lot of work involved.
Johnny,
a lot
terrible.
of work.
Wow.
Yeah, but also I've put a lot of work into the real stuff. I mean, if anybody goes to this site, Rush to Win, learn about poker, there's no book in the world can tell you. You can pick any 2 card and tell you exactly what percentage. I mean, nobody ever done it. So I'm the first one to create that. I'm proud of it. I'm excited. I'm telling everybody it's the real deal here.
Well, that's going to be a brilliant learning tool, isn't it, for people? There's no choice about it.
For new players, they never play a hand of poker before. It teach you from A to Z about starting hands, about percentage, about what beats what. A lot of people doesn't know 2 deuces beats ace high,
No.
So those kind of things are very important.
And obviously there's a lot more of this kind of thing on poker. I mean, our show, we show the cards face up, so the players see, so the viewers see all 10 hands at the same time, for example. On the internet there are sites which will give you your hand histories and your playing statistics and all these kind of things. When you started, when a lot of the pros started, nothing, right?
Nothing.
Maybe
when I
hardly
started,
any
there's no
books.
such thing as the internet, by the way, guys. Well, I'm from the old school. I'm in the 70s. What's the internet? We don't even have a cellular phone.
It did used to be like that. For those of you who are too young to remember it, I'm afraid.
Do you remember
I do. Do I remember? No spring chicken?
I don't, obviously.
Yeah, you're too young for that, aren't you? Well, us adults over here. Now we have another question for you from one of our viewers.
Okay.
This is from Andy. Thanks very much for sending it in, Andy. And he says, after you won your first gold bracelet in 1985, did you ever imagine how the number of players and the size of the event would increase so much as it has over the last few years? And he also wonders the range of achievement from when you won your first bracelet compared to the last one because of all how the fields are getting so much larger. Was the first one easier, do you think?
The first one is much easier. I think the first bracelet I won is only like 300 players. It was limit hold'em, $1,500 buy-in back in '85. I only played, let's say, during the World Series of Poker, they had like maybe 20 or 30 tournaments. I probably played between 5 to 10 tournaments. If I knew what I knew today, how important the bracelet is, I would have played a lot more and probably end up with at least 20 gold bracelets.
Wow.
Like Phil Hellmuth, that's all he does. He play tournaments. He play 100 out of 100, and he only end up with 9. Can you imagine if I play 100 out of 100? No telling.
I'm just trying to think what your watch would be like.
You wouldn't be able to lift your hand, I don't think.
Well, I'm happy. Watch, I like thin and just small, elegant. I don't like, heavy watch. And
No.
So I'm happy with what I have.
Tasteful.
I'm still trying to get it.
All you gotta do is win your 10.
All I got to do is win
bracelet,
10.
that's it.
All I got to do is, I'm on none. I just have 10 to go.
Easy.
Easy.
Did you see the changes coming, do you think? Because we were saying how, starting in the 70s, things have changed massively, massively between televised poker and internet poker. Did you see it coming?
No, I didn't see it back then, but I can see it now. I mean, this is only the beginning. Ever since the World Poker Tour put poker on television, you can see the whole cards, and also, the $1 million prize that helps too. To promote the poker business is unbelievable. I mean,
Johnny, I think one of the biggest changes in poker the last few years in terms of playing is how aggressive the players are now. Because when you first came into the game, you would have been one of the most aggressive players. You still are, of course, but you would have been a very, very aggressive player, and there wouldn't have been many players playing like that. Now, players are so much wilder, aren't they? Or so much more chip happy.
in the late 70s and early 80s, I played with most people from Texas, the old timer. They're like ABC player. It's just like anytime I won a pot, if I want to win a pot, I raise it, they call, I bet it, I win. That's how easy it was.
Right.
But nowadays, they play back at you. You know why they play back at you? Because they see it in television.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't have nothing. I mean, I can play back. So back then, those guys didn't know how to play back. They're afraid to play back.
Yeah.
So, television helps player to play a little bit more aggressive.
And do you find you've changed your style because of that? Because players are playing more aggressively?
You have to go with the flow. You can't just, with the same style. I mean, even though I've been on television hundreds of times, people watch me play.
Yeah.
They know how I play, so I have to change it so they don't pick up my style.
Yeah.
So you just have to switch gears every now and then.
Yeah. We get a lot of emails about people finding it difficult to play against maniacs, people that play very, very fast. Is it difficult to judge when, say you're in a tournament and people are going all in all of the time or making massive raises all of the time, it can get frustrating not having a hand. What do you do in that situation? Do you just have to sit tight?
Well, first of all, when players says they're afraid to play against aggressive player, you shouldn't sit in the game if you're afraid. So you always ready, okay? So you just have to gear down, or you just play over them. So let them know, hey, I'm taking a stand, okay? Don't try to run over me.
Yeah.
So.
I'm getting a little intimidated, actually.
Exactly, yeah.
His whole face changed then when he started talking about people running
Hey,
over him. It's never going to happen, right?
Don't try. I will play back at you with nothing also.
I see that, yeah.
I read in an interview with you that you said if there's any bluffing and stealing to be done at a table, it's going to be you doing the bluffing and the stealing. So, people shouldn't be trying to do that.
Every ship needs a captain. I like to be the captain.
I like that. Every ship needs a captain. Well, talking about your style of play, another one of our viewers here has sent in an email asking a fairly specific question about your style of play. Any of the questions that we do ask you, if they're too much about your strategy, you can feel free to sidestep them and not answer, but I'm going to give it a go anyway.
Don't tell them that. We're going to get the good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know, I'm taking notes
Hey,
already.
everybody's got good stuff right now. I'm telling you everything, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Here we go.
Poker gold.
That's right.
There we go.
Only at night live poker. Wow.
Go on, Poker Night Live. I know, tell me about it. Here we go. This is an email from John. Hiya, John. How you doing? He says, hi, Nick, Johnny, and Kara. Great show. And I've noticed from generally watching the big televised poker tournaments that Johnny plays low to medium pocket pairs very strongly in No Limit Hold'em, often raising as if holding a much stronger hand. Is this a correct observation? This is slightly against the more common practice of limping in to try and hit trips. Has he always played this way? And is it clear to many opponents they make it likely that if hitting, he's going to encounter a higher trip? Okay, so there we go. So is that how you play? Low and medium pairs?
John, when you have a small pair, it depends who's in the game. If you figure the players would call you, you might as well limp. If you figure the player that's going to fold, you try to win the pot. I mean, a pair is just like not a big deal, but anytime you win a pot, that helps you build up your stack, and that means the more chip you have, the more powers that you got.
We think that when people are taught poker, too much emphasis is placed on what cards you have, and not enough emphasis is placed on playing the opponent and playing your position and things like that. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always a player's player. It doesn't matter if I pick up 2 queens or 2 jack. If I knew my opponent has 2 kings or 2 aces, if I knew I'm beat, I'm just throw it away. I'm not going to try to run over him.
Yeah.
You know?
So playing the man is really what it's about, right?
Yeah. That's the whole key.
Cool.
Player's player.
Player's player, because I was reading a story about you that said your greatest bluff was it was for an $850,000 pot. Is this right? And it's an amazing story, and you were definitely playing the player there because he had a king-high flush, as the story goes, and you just pushed all in, and he put you on an ace-high flush and backed off.
Well, whatever it takes to win the pot. If I fold, I could not win the pot, so I got to play back, and I figured if he doesn't have an ace, he will not call me. So that was that type of player that I was playing against. Without the nuts, this guy will not call. So now you can,
Purely
make him play.
Man, aren't you? Yeah.
Wow, that gives me butterflies in my stomach.
You just can't get with the $850,000 part, right?
$850,000, and you actually didn't have a hand.
Well, Kara, when you're playing in a tournament or in a live cash game, you shouldn't even think about how much is.
Right.
Just think about whatever it takes to win. That's the whole key, to win the pot.
Johnny, what I wanted to ask you is, there are plenty of people out there that know a lot about poker. You know, they've studied and,
80 million people.
80 million people, yeah. Maybe 79 million, not so much. But
okay.
People can go and get knowledge nowadays, right? They can go and study and they can go and read the books and so on. But not many people have the ability that you or the players that you play with have at the table. So what separates people that have that ability at the table and people that just have the knowledge away from it?
You can study all the books in the world, you can play on the internet, you can practice without doing it live, day in and day out in the live game. I don't care how much practice you get, you just don't get the same education, the ability to play a real good poker game.
Just developing those instincts and having that. Yeah. Cool.
That's interesting. So actually another one of our viewers asks pretty much that exact same thing. Blake was saying, do you think playing many, many hours of online poker is good for theoretical knowledge of poker? He says he might play only 100 hands a week in live games, but he doesn't think this is conducive to understanding the marginal situation. So is it important to play live to really get that really deep understanding of the game and players?
Absolutely. When you're playing live, you can feel the cards, you can look at the person's eyes. Is he bluffing or is he's got it? You can watch how he throws the chips in or how he pushes chips in. I mean, all those kind of things is very important in terms of the tells. But anyway, so you watch every move your opponent's making. That everything that adds up to you, always computerized, memorized in your head. Next time you play against this person, you know exactly how he plays. Not exactly, but close enough.
Yeah, close enough, and it definitely works, as
it helps.
You can see.
I've watched you play live a couple of times over in Vegas, and I've having watched you and watched a couple of the other great players, I think one of the differences is the level of concentration. When you're playing in a game, you're focused like full on in the game, right?
Well, you have to focus. If you lose, who's going to pay my bills? So I have to try to win.
That's motivation,
to survive.
Right? But a lot of people don't have that concentration. They'll be talking to somebody, or they'll wander away from the table, or whatever. Is that just something that's come naturally to you, or did you learn to have that level of focus? Or
you just have to watch every move everybody make in a live game. Every time you turn your head, somebody might throw their hands away. Somebody might bet out a turn, those kind of things. If you don't watch it, you don't know what happened. Now, sometimes that's how you screw up playing your hands a lot of times,
Yeah. There you go, guys. 100% concentration, non-negotiable, right?
Absolutely.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's what we always say here on the show. Make sure that you are definitely concentrating. And you've also said that you need to have that kind of killer instinct. So you really need to be able to to feel that you're going to win, that you have that kind of confidence that you are going to win in order to play good poker?
Right. If you don't think you can beat that game, you shouldn't sit down. Anytime you sit in the poker game, you handicap yourself. I can beat that game. I'm probably, 6-5 favorites. Let's get going there. Anytime you're 6-5 favorite, oh baby, count me in.
That's how you've got to have that positive expectation, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And people, I think we were talking about just a few minutes ago, what limits people play at. I think people being honest with themselves is a big deal. A lot of poker players are a little bit in denial, aren't they? Because they think they can beat games maybe they can't beat, or they're playing high for their bankroll. And
when Nick, it's funny. A lot of times in Vegas, you see people, go to the bar, get drunk, and start losing, playing a big game, but start losing. And now I walk in the poker game, and I see this guy throwing his money away, but my bankroll doesn't. I can't afford to play that high.
Right.
The question: should I play, or should I take a chance, or
that's
take a shot?
That's a difficult one, right?
That's not a difficult one.
Okay.
You should never play over your bankroll. I don't care how great the game is. First of all, once you sit down, that's all the money you got. If you lose that, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my rent tomorrow? Where I'm going to sleep? What I'm going to eat? Just anytime you sit in a poker game, you got to be 100% comfortable.
The thing that I'm taking from talking to you is just how important confidence is when you sit down to play poker. Unless you've got that complete confidence with the level you're playing at and the game you're playing in yourself, you're not going to win, right?
Absolutely. You should never play nervous.
Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Get in the poker zone, in fact. Ooh, the poker zone.
Oh, the poker zone.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Anytime you sit down, you get in the poker
Thank
zone.
you very much. Right in the poker zone. All right, well, you're playing here in England tomorrow night at a very big game. You play all the massive tournaments and the big games in Las Vegas, all over the world. What do you think is the major difference between the UK game and the Las Vegas American game?
I've been playing around the world. This is the first time I play here in the UK. I think
This is the first time?
This is
I
the
didn't
first time.
realise.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
This is my first time I play in the UK.
So you can play tomorrow with Johnny and it'll be the first time we've played, and it's at the Westerner, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
It's okay. Bob the Butcher's going to be there. I think he's going to entertain a lot of players, and it's going to be exciting. And everybody knows how I play probably, so I need to change my style a little bit. So maybe I'll put on my sunglasses and just disguise myself.
No, you don't do that, do you? You don't wear too much?
Sometimes.
Occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally. I mean, the final table with the camera and everything on you. I mean, the light is bright when you're playing poker.
Right.
So you have to wear sunglasses to protect your eyes.
Yeah. What do you think about these guys that will literally
The
beard
Unabomber?
and hat, and he'll do that?
It's people want to be on television, just get the publicized, get the people know.
Yeah.
Different folks has different stroke. That's why he want to be on. That's how he get into the show. Hey, let him do it.
Yeah. But you can still get a read, right? Because you can still get a read when he puts his chips in.
Oh,
when
absolutely,
right.
absolutely. That doesn't bother me at all. I love it, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. And so, just talking about other players a little bit, are there other players in the game that you respect that you have encountered or played with?
Oh, there's so many, Nick. There's so many great players out there today. I mean, I can name 10 of them.
Pick out one or two that
Phil
stand out.
Ivey, Gus Hansen, Donna Gaudet, Surrender, Devilfish,
Surrender and Devilfish, the English guys.
Bob the Butcher, Chip Reese, Doyle Bronson, Nick.
Yeah.
You name
That's on
it.
tape. That's on tape.
Yeah. Right.
I feel quite wobbly.
So do I, strangely.
Sick.
Wobbly.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah.
Right, well, we still have time. We have you for a few more minutes. I want to get a couple more emails in, if that's all right.
Not at all.
Okay. This is from another one of our regulars. This is Making Jam. Hi, yeah, thanks for emailing in. And he says, "Oh my God, Johnny Chan." And that's how he starts. There you go. And yes, I understand exactly how you feel, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. He says, "I've been playing poker for a few years now, and I've got a question about concentration. I've had some good days where I find it easy to play my A game, and some bad days where I find it harder to do the right thing because my concentration levels just aren't high enough. But as an enthusiastic amateur, I have the luxury of just being able to walk away from poker for a week or two whenever I want. But for you, as a pro, when you feel you need a break, but your commitments mean you have to play. What do you do? What do you do for a break when you need that break?
Take a nice vacation. My favorite place, go to Hawaii for about a couple of weeks and lay around the beach. Now that I found another place, great place to go, is this Turks and Caicos Island. That's a beautiful beach, I tell you. White sand, 72 degrees around year-round, blue water, boots are gray. Oh man, I tell you, I'm just thinking about it, I want to be there. But you know, I'm here now, so I got to do what I have to do.
When I need a break from poker, I go to my kitchen, just leave the laptop. That's not quite Turks and Caicos, is it?
No.
And the other thing making jam was interesting, I think, was if you're feeling bad, or if you're feeling like low, but you feel like you have to play because you need to make money, what do you do then? You don't play?
I think if you're playing, you're feeling bad, you're in the bad mood, you shouldn't play poker. Okay. I'll tell you why, because I had some experience with that. Like you know, you argue with your friend, or argue with your wife, or with your family, or with your kids, or whatever, and you come to the poker game, your temperature is already way up there. So if you lose another pot, you really want up. So you just go steam your money off. So my advice is, if you have a bad day, take the day off. Take another day off. Poker is all. It's going to be there tonight, tomorrow, the next day. Going to be here for another. Poker is going to be around for the next 5, 10, thousands of years. Who knows?
Well, what do you think is the next big thing for poker then? Because we've gone through like just poker in card rooms, and then it's gone to internet poker and live poker, televised. The whole thing is massively changed. What's the next big thing? What's your tip for that?
Well, I haven't seen any strip pokers yet. So. Oh, is that here? Oh. Not you, I mean her.
Yeah, I was just trying to save her, man.
Nobody wants to see that.
No, it's not true.
Not at all. Right, we're going to have another email, I think.
All right, yeah.
This is from Nick in Liverpool. Nick says, "Hey, Johnny, what's the longest poker session that you have ever played?"
5 days straight.
Come on.
What are you kidding me?
Yeah. The game was so good, I tell you. The game was so good.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to quit. Actually, I couldn't quit because I was winning all the money. If I quit, the game would broke up. So I keep letting the money keep on playing with my own money, which they cannot win anyway. So it was all right.
So 5 days
Thank
straight.
you, Johnny.
Yeah. But what kind of breaks were you taking? Because it must be. I mean, you can't play 5 days straight.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, every now and then you drink. We had somebody making black coffees, and we just keep drinking coffee and play poker. No, you know what? I was young, and I didn't. It wasn't that. It was okay. I enjoy it though.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you want to talk about women in poker?
Yeah, because a lot more women are getting into poker now. It's become. I mean, a lot of our viewers are women. We've got people, that, you know, in the top of the World Series of Poker now as well. Even English women.
Some of our hosts.
Yeah.
Our very own Michelle is a very, very good poker player as well.
Yeah.
So.
You know, women players are great players. Anytime you see in a poker game, anyway, I speak for myself. You never underestimate your opponent.
Right.
Either they're a woman player, they're a man player, or they're beginner. They might pull a rabbit out of their hat, you know? So never underestimate your opponent. I think women players, there's a lot of great women players. Jennifer Harmon can play limit, side games, tournament, good as anybody in the world. Jennifer Talley, she's great. She just won her World Series bracelet this year in 7 cards.
Wow.
She won the women's tournament. I can name few, but
Johnny, give us some.
Clara.
Clara, of course.
Obviously. Yeah, right.
Give us, our viewers, a little bit of advice in terms of something else we get a lot of emails about, is when you sit down at a table, you just talked there about not underestimating people when you first play them. How do you get a read on somebody quickly, or how do you get to know somebody's game quickly?
Try to stay out of the way and just watch how they play.
Yeah.
So watch them play a few hands, and then you handicap yourself. Okay, he's A player, B player, C player. And
okay, so you literally kind of think,
exactly,
where is
yeah.
he? Okay, cool. And you're quite happy to stay out of the action until you've got a good read on somebody?
Absolutely. If
Yeah.
if you involve the part, you lose your concentration. What's going on? So that's earlier what we talked about. You should concentrate whenever you're in the game. You should always concentrate what's going on in the game.
Yeah. And sorry, I've got so many questions, and I'm not going to get through them all, am I? We're almost done, John. We've got a couple of minutes left. I've heard you say some really interesting stuff about final table play, and you're very good at closing the deal. And obviously, it's so important. If you've got lucky in a tournament, you've got down to the final few. It's important to make your money, right?
Absolutely.
So, how do you go about playing a final table, and how do you go about attacking the other players?
Well, the final table, I like to attack the short stack. So if I had a lot of money, if I attack the short stack, for a short stack to call me, they have a good hand because they go all in, they lose that, they're out. So,
Right.
so now I got one advantage. The other advantage, if I lose to a short stack, I still got plenty of chips.
Right.
So,
So you're trying to play the stacks that are short. You're trying to avoid the stacks that are bigger than you, if there are any.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Stack
Okay.
size. Okay.
Very important. Okay, now a question for me. As a beginner player myself, I'm playing a lot more online now. I've played a couple of times live. If there's one piece of advice you could give me as a beginner player, and I really am, I've only been playing for a few months, what would it be? I'm writing it down.
Okay, know your limit. Don't play over your head.
Okay, yeah, that I'm good with.
Know when to quit. Don't try to play too long. Just play. If you're tired, just quit. Don't try to. I'm stuck $100. I want it back. Next thing, 12 hours later, you're still about stuck $100. So 24 hours later,
5 days
I'm
later.
500 losing. I cannot quit. So you got to know when to quit. Money management. Don't play over your head. Know your limit, and pick your games.
Okay, that's solid advice. I'm going to be listening to that and hopefully remembering that. I'm going to be playing in the next hour against some of our regular players. So
Poker time.
Yeah,
know my limits.
You should. Some of the magic will have rubbed off, though.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Right.
Bit of magic there. Bit of poker
Johnny,
magic.
you've been playing for years and years and years now. It seems like you still love the game. Do you still?
I've been
do you
playing
still?
for 30 years.
30 years.
Seems just like yesterday. I love the game so much, I would never quit.
That's fantastic. Isn't
It
it
really is. What is the most you've ever won at a single game? Is it that 5-day game? That's another email or a text from Nick.
You know, the 5-day poker game was like winning like $3,500, but back then it was a lot of money.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't. If I think it over, I wouldn't do it. But at that time, the money was good. $3,500 was a lot of money. It's like $350,000 today. So.
Wow.
That is a lot. And if I'll,
Oh, I love it.
that's just it, isn't it?
It was
Paradise.
like taking candy from the baby.
Let's make sure we've got everything covered off. The Johnny Chan Invitational is in Turks and Caicos, and the date it's going to be
September 6th to the 15th.
September 6th to the 15th, and you can
This
play
year.
This year, in Turks and Caicos. Have a holiday and play in a great tournament as well.
Got to go see this island. It's beautiful. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
White sand, 72.
Fantastic. The
Blue
website
water.
is Johnny Chan Poker. Johnny Chan Poker.
It's
Chanpoker?
chanspoker.com. It's
Chanpoker.com.
coming soon. Everything's developing. So when I launch, make sure everything's perfect. So may everybody be happy. It's not going to be have a breakdown or anything. So.
Cool.
That's good. And there's already some great forums on chanpoker.com as well. There's some really good content on there, so you might want to just check that out. You've got your book coming out. That's Rush to Win, isn't it?
Right. It's going to be out in 60 days.
Fantastic. So make sure you put that on pre-order.
And tomorrow night, Johnny's at the Westerner, playing in that tournament.
Hey, come on by and say hello anyway.
Come on, say hello. Cool.
Very, very busy. Well, it's been an absolute honor and pleasure. I'm speaking for both of us out here. I
You
think,
are, totally.
just to have you here with us. So thank you so much for that.
It's my pleasure. UK is a beautiful country. I mean, you got a museum, you got a history. I mean, there's just so many things to see and so many places to go. I enjoy it. Even the traffic sucks, but what are you going to do?
And we need to let you go because you need to start playing and saving to get me one of those watches, right?
Sounds good. Okay, Nick, thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much
My
for
pleasure.
coming in. Now, everyone, stay tuned because we will be back very soon. And when we do come back, it's going to be Beat the Presenter. Okay, so we're taking it down a notch. That's obvious. It won't, Johnny Chan won't be here, but we'll still be here. And you can still send in lots of questions for us. So we're good night, and thank you so much for coming by.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Poker Night Live is great.
God bless you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Poker Night Live. Now you may have noticed a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Well, we're both smiling. Well, we were both smiling, and there's an empty spot here.
Johnny's gone.
I know, but not before he signed a card for me. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we didn't play it cool at all.
I know, we really didn't. We're like a couple of teenagers.
We got to sign everything before we left.
Oh, you should see my... Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's another show. The one Johnny wanted to make, actually.
I know. Shocking,
What?
shocking.
It's an offer.
No. But there we go. We're really sorry for everyone who emailed and texted in. We tried to get as much packed into that hour as we could.
Yeah.
But we just could not get to everyone. But thank you so much if you did email or text in. And
I hope you've got a lot from it, guys. I mean, apart from the fact that he's obviously a character and he's great to have on, the thing that I got from it is just how focused he is on winning.
yeah.
And how focused, and what all he actually thinks about when he's in a hand is, how can I win this pot? How can I make this pot mine? Which is definitely has taught me something. It's different from how I've approached the game, different from how most people approach the game, I think. You know, they're thinking about different angles and different things, etc., etc. He just seems to be completely linear in his thinking,
Yeah.
which is fascinating.
Yeah.
And
Goal-oriented.
he also backed up a lot of what we've been saying for quite a while about the mood you need to be in when you play and that you need to be confident. And the other thing, guys, is that everybody starts at the small games.
Yes.
Everybody. It doesn't matter how big a name they are now.
Even Johnny Chan started
Johnny
small.
Chan.
Johnny Chan.
He was here.
He was sat right there.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
I liked his watch.
I know. I don't know if you could get a really good view of that from home, but it was amazing. It was covered in diamonds in a very tasteful manner, of course.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Quite bling, really.
Quite big. But you would, wouldn't you, if you
God, yeah.
were? Yeah.
Johnny Chan, yeah, I would. I so would. In fact, when I've won my 10th bracelet, he's going to buy me one. A nice big
Well, we're
diamond-encrusted
racing
watch.
each other now, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, it's a race. We're on. We're so on.
Both starting on 0, so...
Well, yeah, level playing field, maybe not so much. Considering I'm about to go into a sit and go here on the Beat the Presenter, I don't even think I can concentrate. I'm all aflutter.
Well, were you listening to Johnny? Concentrate. You must concentrate.
That's
Focus
true.
at all times, man.
Zen. Eye of the Chaffinch. There
Eye
we
of
go.
the Chaffinch, and that he's got it. Did you see? Did you see?
my
Did you see when he
God.
started talking about? Seriously, guys, when he started talking about not being intimidated at the table, his whole face changed. He stopped being jolly. He started, you can try it. You could. All right, I'm not.
Very intimidating man, which is great. He's got that whole aggressive eye of the chaffinch
He
thing.
has got that.
He really does. Now, if you are still watching, we hope you are, because he's not here, but we'll continue to talk about him for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Make no apology either.
Oh, no. Not at all. We had him for a whole hour. He's been doing all kinds of interviews
He's
all
been
day.
doing media stuff.
All
he
day.
said like 25 interviews or something.
And he spent an hour with us.
So we're
because
lucky.
He loves the UK poker players that much. But
He
if you
does
do...
Night Poker Live so much.
Yeah, poker live at night is good.
Official.
Yeah, it's great. But if you do want to send us in an email or a text and let us know what you thought of that, ask us some questions. We still have an expert here. I mean, seriously. He is here.
I swear to God, I've never felt more naked or self-conscious in my entire life. We still have an expert.
Where?
Where?
There you go. You can text poker and your question to 84222. Or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Now, I've just gotten myself into a game here.
Cool.
I'm doing a $10 sit and go, TV table orange. I'm feeling,
Good luck.
you know, he
There's
did tell me.
There's no way the magic hasn't brushed off.
No.
This sit and go is yours.
Watch out. Okay, so this show is all yours for the next, 5 or 6 minutes
you
while
have
I
fun.
bust out. Thank you
have
very
fun.
much.
Guys, do keep the texts and emails coming. Obviously, we've got a few that we will be dealing with that were emailed in when Johnny was on, but we'll answer the questions if they're general poker questions, of course. But do keep them coming in, 84222. On your text, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. On your emails now, we've had a lot of chat, so I think we should get to a game. And we're going to look at our multi-tabs. Oh, just before we do that, we also got our Poker Player Shootout tonight, which we're going to see at 12 o'clock. This is the free roll that we're running with Poker Player magazine, and we're running it across 8 Friday nights. If you win one of the Friday nights, you get to come here and play in the studio, all completely free. It's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
All you need is an access code from the mag, and you can play for free. You win money if you get to the final table on a Friday night online. and then you win even more money if you come here and win.
Very cool.
So it's really cool. £8,000 up for grabs, I believe.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So we're going to see this Friday night's final table, and that's going to be probably at about 12 o'clock. Okay, so stay with us for that. For now, we're going to look at our multi-table tournament, which is also running.
Awesome.
Awesome. We're just two people with big coat hangers on our mouths, aren't we?
I know.
$2,000 added Poker Night Live multi-table tournament. This is one of the best tournaments in existence. I say that every week. I still can't believe it. The buy-ins total normally about $1,000, $2,000, and they add $2,000. So free money in this tournament is enormous. Kara, the email's up to date.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You have fun in your tourney.
I will do.
see
People
you-
are being nice to me already. In fact, someone's already told me
Wow.
how much I, yeah.
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's because you know Johnny Chan.
Exactly. They're just jealous.
You're a close personal friend, I hear.
Oh yeah, we are. We're like that.
Well, he said that we were all going to keep in touch and all
Oh,
go
yeah.
out for a beer in a couple of weeks. So he did say to wait for his call, but I'm pretty sure we'll see him quite soon.
Oh, I imagine so. I imagine so.
So what do we got? Back down to earth. Multi-table tournament. 100, 200 blinds, reasonably early stages. 127 people bought into this tournament, so that's $1,270 in the prize pool, but the site's added $2,000 free money, which makes first place $817, an enormous return for a $10 buy-in. And Border Bears found the aces. Will he find the customer? That's the question. Well, that's a joy, isn't it, when you make an opening raise with the aces and somebody comes all in over the top. That's when poker becomes an easy game. Just press the call button. Playing for $817, 320 people are going to get paid in this tourney. We've got 59 runners left. So we're about halfway through in terms of number of players. And Mr. Manic, nothing particularly manic about an all-in with an ace-king. He'll take down the dead money. I feel like I've just had a brilliant house party and everybody's gone home.
And now we just have to clean up.
No, we have to clean up. It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad.
No, what I feel like is we've put on tunes and it's just me and you dancing on our own now with the dog.
Yeah.
But all of the guests have gone, so it's still cool.
It's cool. Lampshade on the head.
That's it.
Yeah, totally cool.
Lampshade on the head. Well, the organiser doesn't have too much. I wonder if he's setting up a bluff. It's a good spot for a bluff. The flush card has come. No? Johnny Chan would have bluffed there. I know, I asked him. Did the guys in the chat box enjoy Johnny?
They're so busy, I don't know,
They didn't
bickering
even
among
watch.
themselves that they haven't actually even mentioned it yet.
How bizarre.
I know.
Jack Queen for the organiser. Such a weird name for a poker player, the organiser.
That sounds quite.
I'm good with the I'm good with the admin side. You should see my
spreadsheets
you
are
should see my
amazing.
account, yeah. Sorry, the organiser. Do send me an email and tell me how rude I've been. poker@pokernightlive.co.uk is the email, boys and girls, and we're here till 2 o'clock. Taking those emails, we'll answer your questions no matter what level of the game you're at. We'll also talk to you about your anecdotes. What you've got planned for the weekend? It's a bank holiday, I'm told.
Oh, yes.
I'm working tonight, I'm working tomorrow, I'm not bitter.
No, I'm working Sunday.
We're not bitter.
We're not bitter. Johnny Chalmers is here, I'm not bitter.
No, we've got donuts.
Exactly.
But if you have got a weekend of poker planned, tell us what you're up to. I do keep trying to get this going, it never works. I keep trying to get going, like, you know, the Radio 1 shout-outs, where you're going to be playing, what you're going to be doing. I want to get that going on Poker Night Live.
That's a great idea.
Nobody wants to play my game.
I don't know why. I really don't.
Guys, we'd love to know what you're up to. If you're going to the Westerner to play in Johnny's tournament, or if you're playing in your local town, or you've got a home game, do email us in, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk, and tell us what you're up to. We'd love to know. Love to hear from you this Friday night. Hope whatever you're doing tonight, you're having fun and chilled out. Watching us, staying with us till 2. You haven't got to do anything tomorrow, have you? It's Saturday. Bob, 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 bob. Takes on down with the ace-king.
Now, a lot of people are asking where the Westerner is. We need to get all this information and get it out there to the people, because they're all quite interested to find out how to get in touch.
Do they not have internet access? Is that not?
Oh!
What? I'm just trying to make people more resourceful.
Well, I'm guessing they do have internet access.
That's lazy, isn't it? Pinging you in the chat box and then getting it done on live TV. I haven't even sent in an email.
Well, no, actually someone did. I just didn't get to it.
I take it all back.
Okay.
Kings for trips, 8-7 for Border Bear, and not an unreasonable call from Border Bear with the 8-7 in some circumstances. Not sure about making that call for that percentage of his chips. He's now trying to bluff it, but I don't think trips is going anywhere. And Border Bear should do now. He should go home and take his 8-7 with him. He's thinking about it. He's called. Well, I think Border Bear kind of trapped himself there. Put in so many chips that when trips went all in, he sort of thought, well, I might as well call. It's not many more chips, and before you know it, he managed to waste half his stack on that hand. Not ideal. I've never actually been to the Westerner.
No, I haven't either.
I was talking to James, no, Mark? Yeah, Mark about this, and they haven't publicised it very much at all, but apparently it's one of the nicest card rooms out there.
Okay, so there's not more than one, because someone's just asked that if there's more than one Westerner. We're not sure.
we know nothing about the Westerner, but we're going to find out before the end of the show. Kings for Border Bear. Kings for Border Bear. Ace Jack for Border Bear. It's the Border Bear show at the moment. He's played almost every hand we've watched. He's won that one. He's probably thinking, I could crush a grape. Manages to pass this one. Will Tomcats made a big raise with Queen 10. Don't know what he's thinking there. Presumably he just wants the blinds. And he's got him. Bop, 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 bop. Limps in. Little bets from Bob. And look at that bit of creative play from Cyberman. Well, these guys are mad or geniuses. I can't decide which, to be honest. I thought it was quite a creative, interesting check raise all in from Cyberman. Thought it was an absolutely amazing call by Bob. It was either amazing or mental. Sometimes the two are quite close together in poker. Amazing and mental. We're in the blinds, and a bit of aggression here will take this pot, I think. And that's going to get taken down. Is it just going to get checked out? No, Will Tomcat's going to bet this straight. I did miss it straight because I'm reading emails. You can probably tell I'm slightly distracted. Apologies, guys. I'm sure you saw the straight. You don't even need to tell you when somebody's got a straight. We're beyond that now. Popping through to another table. This is our big stack table. Wally West. Not a Wally, because he's got 14,500 chips. Let's see if he keeps them or he becomes a Wally by losing them. What does that even mean?
A Wally.
Did you have that at school?
I thought it was Australian.
Really? Yeah. We had it at school. It died out though. It was replaced by Joey when Joey Deacon was on Blue Peter, which is pretty unpleasant.
Yes, yeah, I missed all of that.
Yeah.
It's...
You didn't miss much. Numero 37. Makes the standard raise. I can't see him getting much custom, but then we've seen some quite wild play so far since we joined this multi-table tournament. Reminding you, it is the, as you can see at the top, Poker Night Live $2,000, meaning that the site adds $2,000 to the buy-ins, which is almost tripling the prize pot. Quite extraordinary. In percentage terms, it's the biggest added money tournament I think I've seen. Now, I would be wanting, let's see, blinds 150, 300. They're going to go to 200, 400. I think at this stage of the tournament, you'd be looking for, well, if you have 5,000 chips, you'd be comfortable, wouldn't you? I think anything over 3,500 is okay. Below that, you need to start making moves. And unlucky Hoofy, one of our regulars, and one of the better players we see at this level, has just had a really good situation, and he'll go out at least knowing that. Jacks over fives, roughly a 4-to-1 shot to win that pot. And the fives get lucky on him and hit trips. Most people go out of a tournament on an out draw. I don't know if that's true, by the way. I'm just trying to bring you all a bit of comfort. I'm going to say most people go out on an out draw, so don't feel bad.
Oh, that's nice.
As I've said before recently, I think people are absolutely obsessed with the hand they go out on. And sometimes the hand that you go out on is the most important to analyse. Other times the hand you go out on is a hand that played itself completely, and maybe what you should analyse is why you were down to a certain amount of chips at that time. What were the hands that put you in that situation? I think people spend a little bit too much time bemoaning losing a 60-40 shot or something like that, when actually they should look at their whole tournament strategy. But what do I know? My watch is from Ted Baker.
Oh.
Well, I thought it was quite nice till now.
Well, it's still nice. It's just not, you know, bling bling nice.
Understated. Era understated.
That's right.
I could have
Classy.
I could have 10 World Championship bracelets if I wanted. All I'd have to do is be much, much better at poker.
Oh.
Well. Aces for Nash Anubis, and he brings them home. And you know, him and Doyle have got the 10 bracelets. Phil Hum's got 9. And as he said, it's going to be almost impossible for them to be caught because all of the fields are so huge now. The variance involved is just going to make it incredibly difficult for anybody to do that.
Yeah, 5,000 entrants in last year's World Series of Poker, over 5,000. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and the thing is, the other events too, which have kind of completely transformed. When I was out there during World Series month about 4 years ago, well, curious call from Wally West. I guess he thinks he's got the big stack and he can make that kind of call, but he's just giving chips away, I'm afraid. Rockin' Rob will take it down with the queens. When I was out there, the average size of the other events, I would say, was probably, I don't know, maybe 200 entrants, something like that. And I'm pulling figures out of the air. Guys, you can look on the internet and check this out. I think last year, several of the tournaments were over 1,000. And some of the smaller buy-in ones, the 1,500 buy-in ones, were kind of 3,000, that kind of thing. So to win 10 of those tournaments, even if you've got a big edge over the field, as obviously Johnny or Phil Ivey or these people have, is just incredibly difficult. I saw a column the other day that said that Phil Ivey is arguably the best tournament player in the world right now, arguably, because he plays a lot of tournaments and he's so good. And I had an article saying that a realistic price for him to win the World Championship would be 500 to 1. Now, to give you an example of how remote that is, I think I'm right in saying, I might be wrong, sports betting fans, I think there's been, I'm not sure if there's ever been a 500 to 1 winner of a horse race in Britain. I think there's been a couple of 250 to 1 winners. So a 500 to 1 is an incredibly remote price, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the odds of the best tournament player on the planet winning the World Championship event. It shows how crazy it's become.
It has definitely become quite crazy. Now, someone had sent in an email about seeding, and did Johnny think that the World Series was going to start seeding people?
Right.
To kind of cut that down. What do you think? I'm not entirely sure what that even means, to be honest. So.
Well, I don't think that will ever happen in the World Championship event. I mean, the thing about, as we see, Wally hit top 2 pair, and he's not messing about with it either. Taz should be able to fold this, he can. Did he ask about seeding World Poker Tour events?
I think it was a World Series.
Well, in the World Series, the thing about the World Series is the World Series was designed to be, or evolved to be, completely egalitarian, so that patience, Cara. I can see you getting frustrated.
I'm not getting frustrated. I just like it when people are unpleasant, is all. And
people being unpleasant to you in the chat box?
No, just unpleasant generally. You know, it's a nice world. People should be good to each other.
If anyone's being unpleasant in the chat box to Cara, we are both personal friends of Johnny Chan, and he's got bodyguards. He's got bodyguards.
I know, he did bring them, didn't he?
Yeah, and you will be receiving a visit. What was I banging on about? World Series of Poker seeding. Yeah. The thing about the World Series is that it's so egalitarian. The whole point of it is that anybody can qualify. I mean, look at our own Tiffany Williamson, who won in the gut shot, won a satellite, I believe either a £10 or £20 satellite in our own gut shot card club here in London. And an amateur player ended up finishing 14th in the World Championship last year. Now, by her own admission, she's not a professional player. She's not the standard of the top professional players. She had a shot at some massive money and took home $400,000. That's kind of the point of the World Series, is that everyone has got a shot. So I don't think there'll ever be seeding in the championship event, and I don't think there should be either. There kind of is, seeding's kind of happening already in the world of poker, because things like the World Poker Tour and other events, some of them are invitational events now. And of course, a lot of the top players do get invites or get buys or whatever. Things like the Heads Up Championship in America is invitational with just the top players. So seeding is kind of happening in that way. In terms of seeding within a poker tournament, I don't really know how you do that. I don't know how you do it, really, and I certainly don't know how you do it fairly. If anyone's got any ideas, it's poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. But I think the whole point about poker, and I heard Johnny, Mr. Chan, say this in another interview, actually, is that It's one of the best things about poker is that if you've got the money to sit down, you're welcome in the game.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter whether you've never played before or whether you are a 10-time world champion. It's the same rules. You need the money to sit down in the game, then you can play. And that's something that sets it apart from other sports. I can want to be great at tennis, but I can't go and have a game against Roger Federer until I work my way up through the rankings and I'm in the same tournament as him.
Yeah.
Poker, your only obstacle is money, and now that there's tournament poker and satellites, it's realistic for anybody to be sitting at a table with Johnny Chan. Anybody could go to the Westerner on Saturday, play a satellite during the day at the Westerner, and end up getting drawn on his table. Now, that does not happen. And then play against him on equal terms and have a chance of beating him. It doesn't happen in any other sport.
No, it really doesn't.
No.
You're right.
So, I mean, for that reason, I don't think seeding's a great thing, to be honest.
Okay.
I think we should be egalitarian. This is multi-table tournament. It's got 38 runners left, and so we are getting to the business end of it. Reminding you that at 12 o'clock we'll have the Poker Player Shootout final table for this Friday night, and the winner of that will come here and play in the studio at a later date. Your chance to compete live for some cash against some of your peers. That's happening every Friday for the next few Fridays, I believe. Not every Friday. Check the dates. You have to get the magazine to get an entry code. $200, 400 blinds now in this tournament. We'll stay with this a little bit longer, then we'll take a couple of emails. And Jeff and others that have asked, we will get you details on where Johnny Chan is playing tomorrow, where the Westerner is. It's just outside London, I know that, I just don't know exactly where it is. But we will find out for you, and we will get details on that tournament. But I do know it's a 1,500 buy-in tournament, obviously a big buy-in for a lot of you. But there will be satellites during the day, so you do have a legitimate chance at playing against the great man. Certainly you'll see him, and he is an extremely approachable guy. I got the impression he just loves being Johnny Chan. I think you all do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just loves where he is in life.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that he, enjoys it, because you do meet some people that have done well in whatever it is they do, and they obviously have lost their passion for it. He obviously hasn't at all.
No, I think you've got to be incredibly lucky in life to be able to do what you love.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing, so no wonder he's such a happy guy.
Absolutely. And it is, I think it's great for me and you, and also great for all the viewers to know that he started out in tiny games.
Yeah,
he started
absolutely.
out very small games, and it's not something we talked about with him, but he started out working as I believe, either a busboy or a kitchen porter or something like that. A very low job in a restaurant. Then he used to go and play 1-3 stud at the local casinos in Vegas after his shift. And that's how he started out. And, guys, there's no magic secret to it. You start out and you play and you get better and you build your bankroll and you play higher.
Yeah.
And that's how they've all done it.
Yeah, and he was saying that his best bit of advice was don't play above your bankroll. Don't play scared money. It's just not worth it.
Well, he was massive on confidence, wasn't he? So it's extremely important. So it was extremely important, didn't he? And he's right. He's absolutely right. We have said it, and it's good to hear it from him. Great spot for half face. King's on the big blind. A lot of deception here, and Numero will find it difficult to get away from this. Half face or double through. There we go. That's got to be some of the stutteriest commentary you've heard in a long time. Sorry, guys, I was just sorting through the emails. Obviously, got loads for Johnny that we didn't get to read out. I do apologise. Just been deleting them all. Thanks anyway. Thank you, and I hope you got a lot from it. We tried to get as much out of him and also get as many of your emails in as possible, so I hope we got the balance right for you. Smobert, you all right?
I am, yeah, thank you. I'm concentrating. As you and Johnny were giving me the advice,
yeah,
concentrate.
so I'm ruling that, so I'll shut up. Email from Smober, S-M-O-B-A, Smober. Nice to hear from you. Haven't heard from you before. Welcome. I've been playing for around 8 months and generally play $10 6-seater sit and goes. The majority of the time I get down to the final 2. However, from there I'd estimate I win only around 35-40% of the games. Clearly my heads-up play is not as good as it could be. Can you offer me any tips which will help me to win more often? Kara, you are wonderfully entertaining. Keep up the good work.
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you.
Feeding the love for the Scots.
That's really nice. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
And Nick is also... My delusional brain has added in.
Don't see that there.
It's not there. Smober, heads-up play. We've been playing for 8 months, and I would say that for a lot of people, it's the last kind of piece of the poker jigsaw to fall into place, simply because you don't get experience of it. If you play for a year, you'll get much less heads-up experience than you will of playing 6, 8 or 10-seater tables. You're winning 35-40% of the games. One of the questions I'd have for you is that taking into account the chip stack? So one of the questions is, are you arriving at the heads-up as the short stack or the big stack? Are you arriving at heads-up about equal? If you're arriving at heads-up about equal, then clearly you're not winning your fair share. If you're arriving at the heads-up as the short stack, then winning 35-40% of the games is about right, and maybe the fault is actually in not getting enough chips earlier. So that's something to bear in mind. As far as heads-up advice goes, as Johnny Chan said, there's no substitute for experience. There's no substitute for getting as many hours in as you can. That's what makes you good at anything. Knowledge is massively important. You can shortcut experience to an extent by going and studying, but doing it really counts. And I would say particularly with heads up, because heads up is all about the rhythm of the game, judging bets and what they mean, and playing the player, more so than any other form of poker. So experience is key. If you are really concerned about your heads up game, go and play some. You can play heads up matches on the internet for anything from play money right the way through, I'm so distracted, right the way through, you can play money, right the way through to real money, whatever stakes you like. But you can play a heads-up match at any time, so get some experience, get some practice. As far as specific strategy for heads-up goes, it's all about controlled aggression. You want to be aggressive, you want to be asking questions of the other guy. Why? Because most of the time, neither of you will have anything. If you imagine only 2 hands are getting dealt out, if you want to prove this to yourself, shuffle up a pack at home and start dealing out lots of hold'em hands. See how rarely a good hand actually comes along and get a feel for it that way to prove to yourself that when only 2 are dealt out, very rarely will either of you have a good hand. If you have got a hand and you get to the flop, very rarely will you connect with the flop. You flop a pair about 2 to 1 you are to connect in that way. So most of the time, neither of you have anything, and that's why the person that asks the question, the person that's most aggressive, that either makes the bet or makes the raise or makes the re-raise, is the person that will win heads up. That doesn't mean play like a maniac. You have to know when to fold and let go because your opponent's got something. But in general, the more aggressive player will win. Last recommendation, get a book called Harrington on Hold'em, Volume 2, which is the only extended commentary on heads-up play and includes a dissection of a heads-up tournament played by Phil Ivey. That's a really good read to improve your heads-up game. Guys, keep the text and the emails coming in. 84222 on the text. The email's poker@pokernightllive.co.uk. You all right?
I am, yeah.
And Kara's playing Beat the Presenter, which we'll see much later in the show, because at 12 we've got the final of the Poker Player Shootout. For now, we're going to take in a cash game.
It's very difficult for me to hold a poker face while you guys have us on camera. It's really difficult. Can I just say that?
Yeah, just ignore the lights and the cameras, Kara.
Seriously. Grinning like an idiot, I think, might be the phrase there.
Yeah, it's all right for the Chanmeister, as I called him. He liked that. It's all right for him. It's all right for him when he plays. He doesn't have to host a TV show at the same time, does he?
Yeah.
I like to see him do that with his 10 bracelets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here we go in a cash game. 50 cent, $1 into the stakes. And that means that the players can buy in for $100, but no more. So anyone with more than $100 to their name is in profit for this buy-in. Could be a profit for the night, excuse me, bit of windy pops. But not necessarily, they may have had more than one buy. Johan Harren, one of our regulars from way back. One of the better players we see on the programme. Poker Malk is also a familiar face. Several of the familiar faces, of course, are down at the Gutshot Card Club tonight, having a Poker Night Live night.
Yeah.
They were having a good time. I'm sure we'll have them in future, guys, for you all to get involved with. Do keep abreast of what's going on in the Poker Night Live community by visiting our forums, pokernightlive.co.uk. Today we had the first studio final, which we taped, which was a lot of fun. And we'll be having another one of those, I believe, with Heats Online. Again, check out the forums, pokernightlive.co.uk, and do get involved. Most of this stuff is either free or reasonably affordable, because it's aimed so that you can take part. And we do want to spread our community as much as possible and see as many of you guys playing live in the studio and getting involved as we can. Tens for Bullen here in early-ish position. He raises. I don't think he'll get many customers. And he takes that one down, and all the aces, ace, jack, ace, queen, are out. Now, what do you want to do with your ace-jack here, Thomas? He's going to pass it. Pretty solid pass. A big raise made by Poker Malk. DDN's out of position. And you have to say it's a little bit of an over-raise by Poker Malk. And I wonder if he'd raised sort of $3 or $4, more of a standard amount, he might have got a bit of play there out of the ace-jacks. Kara,
Yeah.
do you remember when Johnny Chan was on?
That was cool, wasn't it? That was pretty cool.
Tens again for Bullen. Bullen, you big tens freak. What's that all about? Well, Thomas has flopped a full house here, and he's just trying to extract the maximum value from it. Oh, and dear, oh dear, he's got it, hasn't he? Well, Bullen's made a big move there, and I really don't know how he knows that move has any validity at all. It's so easy for him to be beaten. I suppose he's representing an ace. He won't like what he sees, certainly. And Thomas will take down $93, a big pot in this game. With the full house. Flopped full house, nothing finer. I flopped quads yesterday.
Yeah?
I was very excited.
I bet.
And somebody went all in. They bluffed it. That was exciting too.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot from it?
Yeah.
You got paid?
I got paid.
Very nice. How much did you get?
It was in a tournament. Doled me up.
Hey.
Not
Good
much skill.
thing, good
Not much
thing.
skill in that, is there?
Oh, come on.
Well, there really isn't.
Well.
It's still cool when it happens. Well, we've got 2 diamond draws and top pair. DVN should really bet more with that top pair because he doesn't want people calling along with a single diamond. That's exactly what happened. Well, DVN, when he rewinds his hand, has got to go to the flop and ask himself. Something you can do is put yourself in the other guy's position. If you're Miss Chippy and you've got a diamond and you only have to pay $1, I think it was he bet, would you, to try and hit a flush? Well, of course you would. DVN's got top pair. It's vulnerable to flush draws. He must know that. He shouldn't be scared of the flush there and then. He needs to bet heavy to drive out those low flush cards. Sure, if somebody's got the ace of diamonds, they might play anyway, or the king of diamonds, they might play anyway, but you want to get rid of the 2 of diamonds and the 3 of diamonds. Top pair for Paddy Power. And he's not going to get money out of Joanne Harron. This is Poker Night Live with Nick Wealthall and TV's Kara Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Gave you the TVs there, you like that?
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much.
We're here till 2 o'clock, and as ever, guys, live poker with real players playing for cash and taking your texts and emails. Whatever you want to talk to us about, get in touch. Did you see Johnny Chan? Did you? Did you?
That was pretty cool.
What did you think of him? Did he live up to your expectations? Was he different? What would you have asked him if you were in our shoes? Love to know what you thought, and love to know what you're up to this bank holiday weekend. Are you going out? Are you having fun? Are you going to be playing some poker? Do you want to invite us to a home game? Because I'm telling you, I'm free on Saturday night.
Don't admit that.
Well, I'm going to be playing poker on Saturday night, but I haven't decided where.
So it could be anywhere. It could even be one of your home games. Oh,
well, it could even be the Westerner.
Mm.
Interesting hand here. Paddy Power actually has the best hand with the Queen counterfeiting his hand on the river. You do not get anything for 3 pairs, I'm afraid. Not in this game.
Well, there we go. I've found the information on Johnny Chan's game for tomorrow night. It is, in fact, the Western, W-E-S-T-E-R-N, the Western, and that's 620 Western Avenue, Acton, London, W3. And that's as part of the Hendon Mob's Western Summer Festival of Poker. How very exciting.
And it's 8 o'clock on Saturday night, 1,500 buy-in with the final on Sunday. But as I said, it's my understanding that there are satellites all day down there, so you can potentially qualify if you don't fancy stumping up 1,500 quid.
Nice. That's always a good way to get in. Cheaper.
I'm not going to stump up 1,500 quid.
No.
Are you?
Are you kidding me?
No.
No. I don't think so. As much fun as it would be.
I imagine there'll be quite a few people down there watching Johnny play.
Yeah, I would think so. I think it says that the maximum entrance per tournament is 200 as well, so you're going to want to get down there early and sign up.
Yeah, they will sell out, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
First draw for Howley, top pair for Miss Chippy. Classic Hold'em situation. Well, it's just got a little bit better for Howley. He's got a big draw now with the straight draw as well. He's hit the straight, in fact. God, I'm sleepy. I do apologise, guys and girls. He's actually hit his straight. He had that big draw. He's hit his straight. What a great board that was for him. So many cards to hit. Now, does he want to check raise here, or does he want to wait until the river to get busy?
Get busy.
Get busy. Incredibly unfortunate last card. An interesting hand nonetheless. I think I was a split. Do you know what, Kara? I'm a liability.
I know, and I'm not really helping in the moment. Here, I'm going to focus, and we're going to do some very good...
We're going to do good TV.
commentary. Oh, yes.
Good TV.
Yeah.
We can still save the second half.
It won't be nearly as exciting as the first
There was
half,
going to be a
but
come
Johnny
down.
Chan was
There was
here.
going to be a come down, wasn't
Exactly.
there? There was going to be a price to
what are you gonna
pay.
do?
There's
Yeah.
no question about that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll bear with us tonight, guys. We've got some great poker for you, actually, in the second half, because we've got, I don't know how we're going to fit it all in. We've got the Poker Player Shootout final table.
Right.
We've got Beat the Presenter, and we've got the final table of the multi-table tournament Poker Night Live $2,000 added Friday special.
Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ah.
How are we going to get all that in?
No idea.
Plus text and emails. Extraordinary.
Well, there we go. That was a bit of Texas Hold'em online gaming action of the cash game variety. Was it not?
It was.
That
with
was.
some of the worst commentary you've seen in the history of the programme. That's my fault. In my defence, I'm starstruck.
Yeah, I know. It is tough. All that adrenaline just, slipped right away.
I was saying it's weird who has an effect on you, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Because when I've done TV writing, I've met celebrities. Oh, yeah. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Because I don't care.
No.
Some of them are hateful, many of them.
Yeah.
Johnny Chan, 6-year-old boy.
Oh, I know. I was so
Pathetic.
excited.
We were
so
pathetic.
excited. I know. We were patently
There was,
pathetic.
after he'd left, there was a display of such, can we have our picture taken? Will you sign this? Will you kiss my face? I shouldn't have said that to him. He didn't like that. From him, wasn't there? It was terrible.
It really was.
You
It
can
was quite
understand.
sickening.
You can understand.
I know. I've never been like that before. I think Jackie Chan and Johnny Chan, pretty much the only two that would make
did you
me
meet Jackie
feel
Chan?
that. No, but if I
Oh.
did, my life would be complete.
Jackie Chan's awesome.
My hero.
He's cool.
And if I'd met both Chans, I would seriously, my life would be complete.
One Chan tick.
Come on, the next one. There we go. All right, we
We'll
have a
get
bit
Jackie
of time.
Chan and we'll find an excuse.
Oh God, I
Yeah, it's
love
Karate
that.
Night Live, Jackie, honest. Yeah.
No,
Come
really,
on.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'd love that. Right, we have an email here from Robin Joanne.
Ah, long-time favourite of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And Robin Joanne says, "Hi, Nick and Kara. Just wanted to have my say with respect to an answer that Johnny gave to a question. I think it was from Dead Spiders concerning the different levels of thinking he goes to. What a breath of fresh air to hear someone kicking into touch the thinking, counter-thinking, 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 etc. I feel too much is made of the in-depth psychology of poker, and I reckon people think themselves out of a pot too often, and I think you might be right. Of course you put a player on a hand and then adjust your thinking if necessary, but whatever decisions he makes on the flop or thereafter, I think Johnny is right when he says to think about how to get the money that's already in the pot. Don't think too much that you put yourself off the pot, that's my opinion, but then I'm just a girl. Who says I know anything? Only my poker tracker seems to agree with me. You know what? I agree with you too, and it's always good to have the female viewers and players on, and as Johnny did say, well, he didn't really say it, but women are the future of poker.
Yeah, no, he didn't say that at all.
No, but he meant it. He meant it.
Did he, though?
I'm sure he did.
It was an interesting answer that he gave, I thought. And,
Yeah.
as I said, it was one of the main things I took from talking with him. Is just his focus on winning the pot. The question that he asked himself is, how do I win this pot?
Yeah.
He doesn't ask himself...
What do I have? What does he think I have? What does
you
he think I
have to
think he
understand
has?
that. You have to understand that he is doing that,
Yeah.
even if potentially he doesn't know that he's doing it. That's what he's doing. That's the thought process he's going through. Because we have a very long show, we probably get into a lot of in-depth, too many level type thinking. But that's what's happening. That's the process he's going through. But he never deviates from that top line question of,
Yeah.
how do I make this pot mine?
Yeah.
What can I do now? What can I do in the future to move this guy off this hand? Fascinating to just see the focus he has on that.
The scary focus.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, we're going to go for a break, but when we come back, we've got the final poker player shootout, and we've got the Beat the Presenter as well later on, so make sure you stay tuned, because we're here with lots of great poker. See you soon.
See you.
Hello and welcome back to Poker Night Live. This is the third hour of our show. It's a wonderful weekend sort of night. We're still kind of getting over the buzz of having Johnny Chan on the show, because that was exciting.
We're cool.
We're cool. No, we're good. We're back to normal
Didn't affect
now.
us.
It's been quite an exciting day all around, though, because we actually, you were saying earlier, we had a lot of our regular viewers here in the studio playing live, which was very cool. Just
Right back there.
right back there. Mm-hmm. And one of them has actually sent in an email, which is nice.
Oh, cool.
Already. This is Golden Jaguar.
Ah.
And yeah, he was one of the guys who was here playing live. Fabulous.
I called him Golden Shagwar once.
I know, he didn't like that.
He didn't like that. And rightly so.
Really?
Yeah. Childish. I apologise.
There you go. Straight from the Nick's mouth. Okay. Email from Golden Jaguar, a.k.a. Mark. Dear guys at Poker Night Live, just a quick email to thank you all for a great day. It was fantastic to meet all the crew behind the scenes and chat with them. Oh, and it was okay meeting Nick too, I suppose, he says. I like him.
I know that is out of love. That's the thing.
It's that kind of jovial, you know, guy thing, you know, punch in the arm.
Yeah.
He enjoyed meeting you.
Let's hope so.
He says that you're still wearing the same shirt, though, he notices, so he's hoping that you're wearing deodorant.
No. Natural pheromones.
It's very attractive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Once again, thank you guys. It was a wonderful experience, and I suggest all the viewers try to get a place on next year's event. All the best, and that's Golden Jaguar. Thanks so much. It was nice having you here, and meeting some of the guys at the poker club as well afterwards was so great.
It was, and you won't have to wait till next year. My understanding is that there's going to be another one sooner than that. I don't think it's confirmed when, but they definitely plan to do it again.
That's quite exciting. I'm looking forward to that. It makes it a whole different show when we're looking at the TV tables and we know, you know, who these people are. It makes it all new for me. It's very exciting.
It's very cool, and good to meet some of you guys. Great, actually.
You know, great to meet all of them.
Not necessarily, might be some rotters out there.
I suppose, but the ones we have met today, they're all fabulous. Diamond. Right. I'm going to do one more email here before we go.
Yeah.
Just to build the tension a little bit more for the Poker Player Shootout.
Cool.
Ooh, this one's from Hoikballs. It says, hi there, Nick and Kara. Hoikballs here. Wow. When I tuned into Poker Night Live tonight, I had to check my calendar to make sure it wasn't Christmas or my birthday. Not only the fantastic Kara and the all-knowing Johnny Chan, but also another 4-hour session with the inimitable sheer class of the poker god that is Nick Wealthall.
Oh, Hoik. I love you.
Yeah.
See, the pathetic thing is that part of my brain just treats that as serious. It's like, yeah, no, yes,
we know
you're
what
right.
you mean, yeah. It is Christmas.
Thank you, Hoik. Very funny.
That is quite cute. He says, I just thought I'd mail in to say Kara sat down at my table for the Beat the Presenter tonight, and I decided I would sacrifice my solid playing image for a loose, passive style. Really just to give you something bad to commentate on. Thank you. That was generous to the extreme. Of course, sharp-eyed viewers will realize I seem to do this with some repetition on Beat the Presenter. So be kind, Nick. Oh, and a question. We often talk about our favorite hands, but do you have any hands that you particularly hate, but that you feel some urge to play? My own nemesis is pocket jacks, and sometimes ace queen. I know there are no bad cards, only bad situations. But are there any hands you find difficult to pass, but really should? Cheers, thanks for a great show. Well, everyone knows what my bad hand is, so I won't go over it again. Hand? Oh, I wonder. King 10.
Do you have any others?
No, that pretty much. That's the only one that kind of is seared into my memory. Yeah, how about you?
I don't anymore. I used to, when I started out playing, I had a problem with pocket nines, which I have talked about once or twice on the show before, but not too much, I don't think. He says no, he's going to do it again. Pocket nines, I overrated, basically.
Okay.
I viewed them as being a stronger hand than they actually are, and when I did some work on my game with some computer software, this is a long, long time ago now, when I was in Vegas, actually, just after I'd first gone to Vegas, I realised that I was losing money with nines, and that shouldn't really happen, because nines obviously a well above average hand to have.
Absolutely.
And what I did was, I started playing them the same way I played sixes.
Okay.
And viewed them as a small pair, not as a medium to big pair.
Right.
Really, when you think about the pairs in Hold'em, there are big gaps between them. So aces would have a big gap down to kings, which have a big gap down to queens, jacks, then a big gap down to tens, then another gap to nines, in my opinion. So yeah, that was my one. But now, no, now I just view the hands based on what they are.
It's quite interesting, actually, it being nines, because I've got this in my notes here, because I'm a bit of a boffin, and I like to do my swatting up beforehand.
You're a swat.
And in my Johnny Chan research,
Yeah.
nines have always been very important to him as well, because he, he...
I swear we're like that. It's uncanny.
It's uncanny.
Yeah.
In 1987, his very first championship win at the World Series of Poker, he had ace-9. He went all in against a pair of fours. The flop came, didn't help anyone. Then the turn came, didn't help anyone. And on the river, he got a 9. So he won a World Series of Poker with a pair of 9s. But then he also lost against a pair of 9s when he would have, it would have been his third consecutive win against Phil Hellmuth.
Correct, yeah.
He had a pair of 9s and it killed him. That was it.
My understanding is, where did I hear this from?
Me?
No.
Fount of all knowledge, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it could have been, but it wasn't.
Okay.
When he lost that to Phil Hellmuth, which we didn't talk about.
Right.
Fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
The third World Series, that he was, and still is, incredibly angry with himself.
Yeah.
That was my understanding.
Sounds very true, yeah. He says
And you
any
said that
loss
you read,
is bad,
You
but...
said you read that it was down to...
tiredness.
Fatigue.
Yeah, fatigue. He said they've been playing for 3 days pretty much straight through. And because it was one of the televised World Series of Poker at that point, this is quite new, the television company who was producing it wanted to push it on really quickly so they could get the winner for the evening news.
Right.
So they made them start really early on the 4th day. He said it was fatigue. He just got too tired. He overplayed his hand, and that was it.
There you go.
There you go.
And he made Phil Hellmuth the youngest world champion, still the youngest world champion today.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Now, talking about overplaying hands, phew, I think we're going to go to the Beat the Presenter now. So, Hoik, you and me both. Ouch. Seriously. Take a look, people. It ain't pretty. Now, there was a lot of chatting rubbish in the chat box, I have to say. Rubbish.
Rubbish.
Rubbish. There was, and people were being very mean to each other, which I know is going to sound incredibly naive, but I dislike immensely. I dislike it immensely. I just don't think it's necessary.
Well, as we always say, remember that the chat is an optional extra.
Yeah, of course. And I was considering turning it off.
If you do find yourself in that situation in a home game, you can always turn the chat off.
Absolutely.
In a game at home, I mean, not a home game. Different.
You can't mute your friends, although there are some friends of mine I would love to be able to mute.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen anytime soon. So there I am, Great Scott, sitting down in seat 4. Hoik Balls, who just sent us an email, sitting in seat 1. And a sprinkling there of some of our regular players also. Now, I signed into this so quickly because we'd actually just come back on air. And I was thinking it was one of the new ones with the longer structure and the better blind structure and the 2,000 chips and the whole thing. And it's not. So, well, I was really looking forward to playing one of those. I'm going to have to do that from home at some point, I think. Because I rather like the idea of the, longer blind structures, more chips, a bit more play. Be a bit more patient, as I like to be, without, being blinded out by 20th hand dealt or something.
Have you played in a multi-table yet?
I haven't. I was about to go into one, and then I thought, do I have 4 hours? Not that, of course, I'm going to stay until the end, but on the off chance...
You've got to go in
exactly.
optimistic.
This is what Johnny Chan says. Go in believing it's true. That you are going to win. That is simply, no lie, what's going to happen.
He said something else was very interesting, which completely coincidentally we talked about last night on the show, which was about having an edge over the game, which was about, he said, if you see a game and you think you're a 6-5 favourite, you want to be in that game. And this is something we talk about a lot in terms of, we talk about having an edge over the game and having an edge over your opponents, playing better cards than them, and giving yourself an edge that way. Well, the most fundamental way you have an edge in poker is being better than the players you're playing against. And if you're not better than them, that is incredibly difficult to overcome.
Is that why I'm not doing so well?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
How can you say that?
I play a lot of people who are much better than me. But I think I learned from it as well,
on Beat the Presenter, on Beat the Presenter, it's tough for you guys, because in general, the three of you you, Lindsay and Michelle, are playing players with more experience than you.
I think it probably helps our game immensely to have to raise the game up.
You do well when you play in the one tables at home, don't you?
I know, exactly.
So it's just having an edge on the game. Of course you're going to struggle if you're playing against people that are more experienced than you. But you have to be honest with yourself about that. You have to be honest about, are you playing the right game? Do you have an edge on the game? And if the game goes bad for you, or if you feel that you don't, you need to be able to get up from that game. And that's a skill that very few poker players have, because it involves humility and objectivity and things like that, which is, well, as you know, human beings,
it's difficult.
You're admitting that you're not, you know, that
nigh on perfect.
Not perfect, not good enough. The other thing, of course, is that games can change. You can sit down in a good game, the two fish can get up and two local pros can sit down, and suddenly what was a profitable game is now an unprofitable game. So you have to be able to be prepared to potentially leave the game if it's not making you money.
Gotcha. No, I think you're absolutely right. Obviously, you can't leave a tournament unless you bust out, but I suppose you always find games that you like better than other games as well. You know which sites you want to play on and which ones are going to be profitable for you, and people probably stick to those. That's not a bad idea. Now, Kev Steele kept making little remarks about how he was nicking my blinds and whatnot all the way through, and I thought the usual me would not want him to do that, would probably call him when he raises me, even if I've got nothing, because I think he's going to try and steal my blinds. But today, oh no, I didn't do that. I was quite proud of myself. You keep saying to me, people don't raise you just because it's you. They're working on their cards. That's the thing. So, yeah, so whenever someone raised, I was trying to... I know.
Given that Kev has 9-4, maybe he wasn't...
Yeah, I decided he was probably being wild, but calling him wouldn't be a good idea without cards. Just
no, well, calling somebody that's senior blinds is generally not necessarily the best way to go about it. Yeah. Quite often the best way is to re-raise them and play back at them. But you can only do that if you've got enough chips.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to... I figured if he was playing that wildly, then maybe he'd bust out. I don't know. We'll see.
I always think about defending your blinds. I've never been convinced as to why you need to.
Right.
Because there are plenty of... Well, look at this. Bluffy McBluffington. He's bluffing into the nut flush, and that's how you lose chips.
And he did.
Get your bluffs wrong. That's expensive at poker because there's no way out.
Yeah.
Bless
Excuse
you.
me. See, I did say during the break that there was going to be a sneeze at some point. There it was.
You're allergic to 4 donuts.
Oh, stop it. I haven't eaten 4 yet. At least I've started 4, yes. But I've not finished 4.
No. I haven't even had one yet.
I know. I like all the flavours. I'm just going to end up, you know, licking all of them. You're not going to be able to have anything.
Lovely.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. I'm that generous.
You're a big-hearted person.
I am. Oh, and I've got such a cold at the moment, I tell you. Oh, I tell you.
Well, if you've given that to me and or Poker's Johnny Chan, there'll be hell to pay. Hell
to pay, in fact. No, I hear you. I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Okay. Great Scott raised with King Jack.
The blinds are small, 3 times a big blind. I wanted to see what happened. As it happened, nobody had anything. Okay, probably not the best of positions to do that from, but still, I thought it was worth it. I thought it was worth a push.
It's not too bad. I
asked a question. If someone had re-raised me, I would have folded.
Well, the thing is, Kara, these beat the presenter tables are very tight, and the blinds go up very quick.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to make some chips early. Now I know that flies in the face of what a lot of people will tell you in terms of that you should be tight early on. Got to go with what you feel.
True.
As Johnny Chan was saying, you've got to have the ability to play the different styles. Actually, what we've been saying for a while, you can't just have one way to play. You've got to have an ability to play in different styles. You've got to be flexible to the game conditions that you're playing in. If you're playing in a tight game, you should loosen up.
Yeah. So I did a bit, and there you go.
Jacks for Hoik, he comes over the top. And I'd imagine Tem wouldn't want to play.
I would imagine, yeah.
I would imagine.
And no, he doesn't. So there you go. Not really loose and mad play from Hoyk there yet, as per his email.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong with the re-raise of the jacks. That's good play.
Oh, yeah. Lovely play. There we go. So I've got 1,000 chips. I've worked my way back up to level.
Well, it's quite interesting because this has been a little bit looser than some of the beta presenters.
Yeah.
Although a lot of that's down to Kev Steele.
Yeah.
I thought Remington Steele's slightly crap younger brother.
Oh, not so razor sharp.
Remington was out catching criminals and being an international man of whatever he was.
Oh, yeah.
And Kev Steele was working in the lumberyard, just finishing his YTS.
I remember Remington Steele now. Great show.
Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan and Kate something or other.
In fact, I think Pierce Brosnan was asked to be Bond. And
based on that. You know what? I think you're right.
But
I think I've heard that.
He was doing Remington Steele and he had the contract and it didn't work out.
And yes, because then they came back to him. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And it was better timing for him because he was more able to relate to the character of Bond because of things that had happened in his own life. International intrigue and whatnot. No, it's true. Don't laugh at me. It's actually quite sad, so there you go.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, you didn't tell me?
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's quite a sad story because I think his first wife died, didn't she? And
right.
When they asked him to come in and play Bond, I read an article, an interview with him, and it just said that he was able to sort of relate to a lot of the character and what he was going through in this time in his life and whatnot. Probably more so than the whole Mrs. Doubtfire character he played, anyways. Which I thought was funny. I wondered if he was wearing a chest rug, though, in Mrs. Doubtfire.
I think he's all man, Pierce. I think that's probably... I don't think he's a man that needs to wear a chest rug.
No, this is true. He's very testosterone-y. Yep. Mucho testosterone-y. Now, I've got a flush draw up against...
You have?
Oh, I don't think I actually saw that at the time, to be honest.
What?
The flush draw. I think I was still so blinded by the Chan. I didn't see
I don't think, Cara, that's going to hold an excuse for the entire game.
Really?
No, you're right.
Come on.
I think it's a brilliant excuse.
Yeah, I'm using it. No, this game was a bit crap, so I'm quite happy to say that. Look at that. I didn't even see I had a flush draw.
And there's the end of the analysis.
Yeah.
I refer you to the reply I gave some moments ago.
Oh, what was that? I wasn't listening.
This game was a bit crap.
Yep. It was.
If you'd like to share your opinions on Cara's game and see if they tally up, poker at pokernightlive.co.uk is the address.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you. We may not be Johnny Chan, but we will still answer your questions, or at least I will refer them to the expert who is sat beside me. As Hoyk Balls himself said, the inimitable god of poker, Mr. Nicholas Wealthall.
Oh, Cara. Well, Dundee United, we got this last night.
Oh, did
this
you?
Is Dundee United Football Club, and his nickname is Joff.
Really?
So I'm just going to call him Joff.
Joff, yeah, let's go with Joff.
Joff has just limped in with Queens, which is unusual play.
Is he trying to just see what he can get?
I presume so. I don't...
Difficult, though, because Queens can be beaten.
Well, I don't think Queens are a big enough hand to limp with because of the number of times a king or an ace will come on the flop, and then it's very difficult to know if you're winning or not.
Yeah, fair enough. If a king does come down, he will be losing because Charwell will have a higher pair. At the moment, Charwell just has the lowest pair there, and now Joff decides to push people off.
Well, Kev Steele might want to play here. He's got a straight draw. He does want to play.
And he's all in.
Yeah, Joff's not going anywhere, I wouldn't have thought. And it comes straight away.
Boy, that looks, yeah.
Split pot.
Ooh.
It's not a split pot. Joff
8,
wins.
9, 10,
Joff
Jack,
wins.
Queen.
Joff wins.
Yep.
Joff wins.
High straight, queen, high straight, not bad.
The redraw.
Very nice, queen, high
Guys,
straight.
I hope you're not sitting at home relying on me to spot outs tonight because it's not happening.
I spotted that one.
It's not working. Yeah,
I'm quite proud of myself there.
I'm not even.
I wasn't
races.
even watching it that carefully when I was playing the game.
He played a 5-day session, for
I
God's
know.
sakes.
Think about the concentration in a 5-day session. I thought he must mean, okay, go home or go to the hotel, have a nice 8-hour sleep, get up, play more poker, maybe for, 5 or 6 hours. But no, he means 5 days straight. Massive cups of coffee, breaks to go to wee, maybe a nap in the corner for 5 minutes, and 5 days of it. Wow. And the whole idea about bluffing on an $800,000 pot, it just makes me go, gulp. That's just quite frightening.
You just have to realise that to these guys, they're just playing with chips.
And that's what he said,
He will have played.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when that story came from, but he will have played bigger hands now, because they're now playing. He's playing 4,000, 8,000 limits.
It's incredible.
That's a limit game, so the raises and re-raises at the end are 16,000.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, it's still just chips. Joff has flopped a full house. Look at this.
Oh, and we've lost Kev Steele as well, somewhere along the way.
Yep, that was to that straight that I didn't see.
Oh, the one that I pointed out and said how well I was watching the game. Yeah, thanks.
Smooth.
Thanks very much.
Well, it's a nice situation for Joff because Stevie had the 3 5s and he had the full house. But he didn't take advantage of it because he didn't commit any chips. And now the flush card will probably stop Stevie from calling this re-raise. So the situation's definitely got worse for him.
Yeah, it certainly has. A pair of 9s against a pair of 3s and all of that.
Well, Joff just raised the minimum. I think he possibly could have won more in that hand by betting more early. Grammatical problems. It's the age-old problem that we do see a lot on the show of when players get big hands. They play too slowly.
Yeah.
It's a difficult judgment, but if we do see an error, it is that one, as opposed to the other one.
On the list.
Yeah. You can fire me at any stage, it's fine.
That's all right.
If the producer wants to fire me, if you're listening, that's absolutely...
You just want to go home now.
I've peaked.
We peaked too soon.
We peaked too soon.
But we still have the
I don't
ever
want to go
exciting...
home. I'm happy as Larry.
Well, that's good.
Sitting with you, shooting the breeze,
yeah.
watching some poker.
Not a bad way to spend a
Coffee
Friday
and
night.
donuts. Not a bad way, it's an absolutely fantastic way.
Fabulous, in fact.
Listening to the viewers.
Another pair of 9s there, and I've got a pair of 7s.
Still haven't got a single email, guys, about what you're doing this weekend, poker-wise.
I know.
It's just not flying. I should give up. I want to give a shout out. What are you doing? Who are you doing it with?
Yeah.
To? Where are you playing? What do you hope to achieve?
Oh, I can give a shout out to someone actually doing some poker. I'm
Go
not sure
on.
if they're watching, but at the Travelers Inn in Peace River, Alberta, Canada, there are a lot of poker players.
Cool. That's like a global shout out.
Oh God, yeah! This is a global shout out to the Peace River poker players. They do a lot of hold'em there. They love their Texas hold'em, and one of the players happens to be my brother. And I don't think he's watching at the moment, but if he is, Wade, love ya. Oh, global audience, gotta like that.
Is he a good player?
I don't know. I've never played against him.
Christmas.
I have no idea. But apparently the people he works with didn't believe him when he said that his sister was doing some poker thing on television. So there you go. If they're watching, haha.
Yeah. Believe it now.
Believe it now. There we go. Joff, pair of jacks.
That's one of my favourite jokes of all time, which is Bob Monkhouse. You know Bob Monkhouse? Bob Monkhouse joke is he's doing his stand-up set in his dinner time. He's, people, when I said I want to be a stand-up comedian, people laughed at me. They're not laughing now.
Oh, that's funny.
It's clever, isn't it?
That's very clever. That's very, very clever.
He's a brilliant writer, Bob.
Oh. Bob.
Bob. Very cheesy man.
Oh, they were telling jokes in the chat box of this game as well.
Were they?
They were. Yeah, it was most amusing.
Good.
Most amusing. It's a thrilling game, this.
Well, you've had a very quiet game, and you haven't had any
I haven't really
cards,
done much.
not really any
no.
decisions.
Not so much. Every time I thought I might try to steal or whatnot, someone behind me has raised it, so I've had to put it down.
Well, you don't have to, if you're not getting involved at this stage, you don't, it's always nice to make chips early, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
And, you know, unlike some beta presenters, you've lost 2 players. So there's every chance that by sitting still, more players will go out and you'll increase your equity in the tournament, as Mr. Browning would say.
Oh, yes. That is kind of what I'm hoping. And I didn't want to play with nothing, because you do get very conscious of the fact that people are going to watch this back and then go, why did you play with Jack 7? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or, what are you doing raising with stupid hands and whatnot? So you do start to think, well, maybe I'll just sit tight and wait till I have a hand. It does seem, though, that every single time I'm about to make a move, when I actually do get a hand, someone types in the chat box right before, you've got to make a move soon, Kara. And then I push all in and no one believes it, which I find quite, you know, frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it bears repeating that you are playing in pretty unique conditions. You know, you're playing in a situation where everybody is watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that is unusual. You know, if you play online or live, well, actually, if you played live, you get the same thing, wouldn't you? You're off the TV. Actually, do you know what? Since I don't know if have you played live in a card room?
I have, just the once, though, when we played down
Oh, yeah, that's
at our
right, of course.
Poker Night Live Christmas party, I believe
Of
it
course,
was.
of course.
That was fun. I found it difficult to pay attention, again, but more because I think other people had a lot of Christmas cheer in them. And it was a very noisy table, and nobody was entirely sure what the big blind was at any given point.
Cool.
But it was fun, though. It was fun. And one of the girls who works on the show won very big that night, Jo. She's a very good poker player.
So I hear.
Yeah.
I've never played her.
No? Well, I have. She beat me. That's not difficult. Most of the people out there have
Oh,
done that.
come
but
on.
No, she's a very good poker
I
player.
don't have this self-effacing nonsense.
Oh, yes.
Charwell's got the jacks, and everybody's going to fold, including you. I hope.
Oh, I don't know. Queen 3.
Off it goes.
Yeah. Not much to be done there. I am thinking, okay, King 8, small blind, perhaps.
Yeah.
Try to steal. Not so bad, you know.
I think one of the interesting things is that I believe, and Casper talks about this a lot, it's very, very hard to force poker. You can do it to a certain extent, but even the great players have runs of, will have spells where they have no cards
Yeah.
and no situations because the wrong person raises at the wrong time in front of them, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's very, very difficult to make chips.
Yeah.
The problem is that in a tournament, it seems so desperate because you're getting blinded away and then eventually you'll get knocked out. In a cash game, obviously, you can have a quiet spell. It doesn't have the same effect. But sometimes, especially in a one table where there's so little time, you will just have a tournament where it's very difficult to do anything.
Ouch.
Ace King versus Ace Queen. Well,
King has
Stevie
it.
had the best hand all the way.
Yeah. But ouch. So then, like you say, there is another person gone here.
There's another person gone.
So I am thinking if I can just hold on, get a couple of cards,
You're
which would be nice.
thinking about a steal here, aren't you?
I am thinking about a steal here.
Did you?
Didn't
You
do
didn't.
it. I thought about it.
Do you know
Would
why you
have?
didn't?
I didn't feel confident doing it. And
You shouldn't
people
do it
always
then.
say you should never play with cards if you're not confident.
I think that's broadly true. Sometimes you have to kick yourself in the behind and
Should I
put
have
your
done that
chips in.
there?
I don't know.
Maybe I should have, because as
mean-
it went through and they folded to each other, and then I thought, oh, I should.
Yeah, but that's just
hindsight.
hindsight.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. There's an argument for not doing it just because your chip stack isn't that big. And you want to preserve your chips
Yeah.
for later, maybe, but it's a tough one. Ace Jack, you're going to play this, aren't you?
Yeah. Here's hoping. There we go. Thinking, and she raises.
Good, and looks like you're going to take the blinds. And you're five-handed, and you haven't done very much. You haven't seen very much cards, but you're suddenly just 2 away from the money.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. I heard a podcast.
Ooh, you're so with the new technology.
Do you know, Kara?
You are.
I really am.
You really are.
Up with youth and what's going on in the streets.
No, down with youth.
Very much so. Up and down with youth when I get half a chance. That came over badly.
Terribly.
As usual. 9-5 in the big blind. Just watched his hand. I was going to tell you something about a podcast.
I've got bottom pair.
You got bottom pair.
I have no idea what he's got. But he's just raised me. I've got bottom pair.
Marginal situation.
I just don't like it.
The thing is that he's betting. I mean, we can see his hand now. He's betting because you're in the big blind. You could have any 2 cards.
And he just wants to see what's going to happen.
He wants to see what's going to happen.
But I don't know that.
You don't know that. And he could have easily caught middle or top pair. So
that's what I was thinking.
It's difficult.
Yeah, because he could have had king and any kicker and decided to stay in, or...
the other problem you've got there is that he's got you covered for chips, so...
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Ace Queen versus King King?
Ooh, goodness me. Clash of the Titans.
It is, and we hope for your sake that one of them gets broke on a hand, don't we?
We certainly do.
But on that flop, I'd have thought the Ace Queen is going to be able to get away from it. And that might slow everyone down. No, Tam's still confident. Stevie's not going to play, is he?
He's also got a flush draw. Yeah. Well, I'm very short stacked. Again, as usual, finding myself in the middle stages of a tournament, short stacked.
But you're only 2 away from the money, and you only need... Oi.
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 Oi, you.
Pay attention.
All right.
You only need 1 hand, 1 double through,
yeah,
and you'd be very competitive again.
Yes, this
so
is
you're
true.
not. Your situation really is not that bad.
But I think it's a good point that one of the regulars made ages ago. Don't think about what to do when you're short stacked so much as why are you constantly short stacked at that point in a tournament. And I do find myself short stacked very often.
Yeah, but you're going to because these tournaments are so fast.
Yeah, I suppose so. Jack Queen, and I've raised it up, and unfortunately ran into Ace Queen.
Well, you've done the right thing by raising it up. I think you should bet again here.
I know, I put in a continuation bet. Let's see, the pot's 480. A continuation bet is half the pot, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've put
half
that
the pot
in.
or slightly more.
Oh no, I checked.
You checked.
I ran out of...
That's a little mistake, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've got a flush draw here. I've got not much else.
The flush comes.
Oh. Oh God, I hope I don't put this down. I really wasn't paying attention.
You think you're not going to put it down? And you did right by just checking on the end because, well, there's no reason to bet there. He's very, very unlikely to pay you.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Oh, these ones are actually quite difficult because he may call you with like the 8 or 9 of clubs. He may do.
Yeah.
However, if he's got the king, queen, or ace of clubs and he's trapping, it's a judgment call. But I don't think there's anything wrong with checking.
Okay. Well, I'm almost back up to my starting stack again.
If only they gave a prize for that.
Oh, I wish they did because I always feel quite, vindicated when that happens.
Now, is Stevie going to try and steal your blind?
Yeah. Yeah, he is, actually. No, but Joff will. And the blinds have just gone up to 81.60. So I was thinking, I've got 10 times a big blind again. And yet, no, I don't.
Now, there's an opportunity where you could have raised him.
Yeah? I should have raised him.
Now you need to bet.
I know.
Bet?
I know.
Oh, Kara.
I know. Terrible, terrible rookie mistake.
You're not on form because I've seen you make bets like that in the past.
I know. That was a ridiculous way to play. Oh, well.
Well, he may have called with this 9 anyway, but who knows?
Yeah.
But definitely, that's a good flop for you.
Yeah.
The small blinds checked you. There's a good chance he doesn't have anything. So
bet and just push him off.
Yeah.
And if he re-raises, well, there you go.
If he re-raises, then you take a view.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a hand, at that point in the tournament, that is a hand that potentially you could put all your chips in with because you've got ace as an overcard to hit, and you've got the flush draw to hit, and at some point you've got to try and make some chips.
Yeah.
So potentially that was a good spot. The counter argument, because there is always a counter argument in poker, is that he had a pair of nines, he had you beat, and maybe you would have called, and maybe you would have gone out.
True.
So it's tricky, but in general, obviously, you don't know his hand. In general, the small blind's not showing you much strength. You've got a hand that's got some potential.
Yeah.
You should bet, but you know that.
I do. Badly played.
And I've seen you make those bets in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get a bit more practice in.
To be fair, Kara, I'm glad I wasn't playing Be the Presenter tonight, because either of us would have been... we were all over the place, weren't we?
I know, I still
With
am
our
a bit.
pathetic hero worship.
I know, slavishly.
Pathetic.
Just, yeah.
He's just a human man.
He is. He's a very amazing human man who plays poker at a most excellent level.
That's all.
But that's it, that's all. Nothing more than that. Ah, well. It was fun while it lasted, though, wasn't it? That was fun.
What was your tournament, or the Chanmeister?
The Chanmeister.
It was great.
The Chan.
Well, he was a sweetheart, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a lovely man. He was indeed.
Ace 10.
He was indeed. And ace 10 takes the blinds. I'm very short stacked.
Crisis level.
Yep.
Basically, you want to look to move in one of the next three hands.
Yeah. 3-6 not gonna happen.
Maybe not, but...
No, come on, any random hand has got to be better than 3-6 off.
It has. I'll put you the counter argument, which is you've got an opportunity because two players have passed. You've only got to push two players off there.
Yeah, I suppose. That's a good point.
You've got to be thinking it's not just about the cards at this stage.
I know. This is where I think my game really falls down.
It is. And,
yeah.
you know, let's make no bones about that.
No, it definitely
but then
is, I agree.
that's expected because that's the way that we learn poker. You learn the value of your cards and then you learn the other considerations.
Yeah.
But you've done nothing wrong here. Ace 3 rates probably to be the best hand, and the big blind's coming. You've done the right thing. You've gone all in. Joff kind of has to call, but he doesn't like it. And this is a lot of... Does he call?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Players sometimes make a mistake with this sort of situation.
Why should he call?
He should call because he's getting the right odds. Mathematically, he's got a chance to beat you.
Yeah.
Based on the fact it only cost him 200. There's 800 in the pot, 4-1. Also, he'd knock you out and they'd be down to 4 players, so he should definitely call. As it happens, you have the best hand, you win. Yay!
Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. And thank goodness for that, because I just got hit with the big blind. So it's cushioned that blow ever so slightly.
Yeah. To be fair to you, you haven't had much of a run on the cards, have you?
Not so much.
You haven't had any
no, I really
premium
haven't.
hands at all.
No. But, you know, even if I'd had them tonight, I really don't know if I'd have noticed.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's, yeah, tonight's been a bit of a blur. A bit of a blur. But I've only got, oh gosh, not even 3 times big blind there. So, I probably should have gone all in with pretty much anything there, huh?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Because you've got 700. 700 is enough that there's a chance that you can steal the blinds. Now you need to move all in.
Yeah, I hope I do.
Go all in.
I do.
Go all in. I can make you just by saying it, even
Yeah.
though. Go all in.
No, I don't think I did.
Go all in.
Sorry. I know.
Turns out I couldn't make
crap.
you.
No, you
That's
couldn't.
crap.
It is, though. Let's make no bones about it.
Yeah, that was an opportunity.
Oh, complete missed opportunity there.
And even if the big blind's got aces, obviously you don't know that. It's still an opportunity because most of the time the blinds won't have anything. And you've got 700 chips. It's not great, but...
At least that's enough to maybe scare someone.
It asks a question.
Yeah.
It does ask a question.
Yeah.
People still aren't going to call, what is that, into the big blind? 400 chips. They're still not going to call 400 chips with 2-5 offsuit.
I know.
So
this is just embarrassing at this point. I did say to the guys at the gallery, maybe don't show this tonight.
No, it's good. It's good because the
good teaching
whole
tool.
point is that we learn stuff.
No, I agree.
And,
learn from my humiliation, people. Feel free.
It is not humiliation.
No, you're right.
The bottom line is you haven't had any cards. So the interesting thing about this Beat the Presenter is not have you played your cards well.
Right.
It's what opportunities were there that you maybe could have taken.
Yeah, where did I miss opportunities?
Where did you miss
and
opportunities?
it did happen, that's for sure.
There are a couple. I mean...
Oh, definitely.
Now here, it's going to cost you another 160.
Yeah.
There's 960 in the pot, so that's sort of 7 to 1.
Yeah.
So you must call.
Yeah.
With any 2 cards, you must call.
That's what I'm thinking. And, look.
Flush draw.
I know.
That'd be nice.
I was very excited, and then, oh no, didn't get it. Unfortunate, but still, you know, that's poker.
We're in trouble now, aren't we, Karen?
Oh, I'm in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble. But you know what? I enjoyed it. I came back before. I did all right. And Joff goes all in with his ace-6.
And you've kind of got to play.
I kind of have to do.
You do, because I got
nothing.
You got a shot at...
60 chips.
You got 60 chips. There's no point in not playing.
No. Yeah. There you go. And
it's all over.
She says goodbye.
Great
They think
Scott.
it's all over. Well, it is now. It is now. Well,
Forced to go all in, blinded away. And the lesson from that one, for Kara and for you guys watching out there, is if the cards aren't coming, it's better to take a risk earlier
right.
and try and steal the blinds. Even if you get called and you're all in earlier on, you're still going to have a shot at winning that all-in hand.
Yeah.
Unless they've got a big hand, which is quite rare, you're probably going to have about a 35-40% chance to win the pot, even with the cards like 8-5. So it's better to take a risk goal in, try and get the blinds and make some chips, than wait too long.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's right. Be more aggressive.
Be more
You've
aggressive.
always said to me, what do you hate in an opponent? And it's when someone's aggressive and re-raises me or, you know, pushes all in. I hate that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I need to start doing, put pressure on other people.
It's about having the confidence to take a calculated risk.
Definitely.
Rather than waiting for the certainty of the blinds eating you up.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point. I have a feeling another sneeze coming on, so I do apologise if
You're allergic to something.
I hope it's not donuts.
What if it's donuts?
No, don't
Your
say
life
that.
is going to be...
That'd be awful, wouldn't it? It'd be so wrong. So wrong. Well, we're down to the money.
We are down to the money, and that's a great flop for Joff. He should put all his chips in.
He should indeed.
He put half of them in. Takes it down. Pretty evenly matched, the guys, but the blinds are big, as usual at this stage. And what a time to get dealt a pair of kings. Surprised he didn't slow play them a bit there. Massive hand at this stage.
There we go. And blinds are quite big. So every pot's going to be a substantial one and definitely worth winning. Whether there's any action in it or not.
Well, any time you can pick up the blinds for free at this stage is a huge, huge deal.
Yeah, well, I think your request for information on what people are doing for the weekend and the poker they're playing, it's starting to bear fruit.
You're joking?
No.
It's starting to happen.
It's starting to happen.
Magic is starting to happen.
People are feeling it.
I'm excited about this.
Oh, they're so feeling it.
I've connected.
You are connecting with the nation.
Come on. Poker Nation.
the
Tem's
Poker
gone out
Nation.
with his Jack 9.
Ah, we're down to 2.
We are down to 2. Joff versus Stevie. And this is not going to last too long. The blinds are so high.
That's right. I believe first prize here is $40, I would think so, because there's 8 people on the table.
He's hit the straight. Stevie's hit the straight to win it. Outdrawn the last card. Unlucky, Joff. Well done, Stevie.
Yeah, unlucky. But there you go. That's how the cards fall sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have a couple of emails to take a look at. As I
Great.
was saying, people are listening.
Here we
Do you want
go.
a request for the
Shout out
shout-out?
for the bank holiday weekend, massive.
Oh, that's just, we have no street cred.
No.
None. Okay, this is an email from Gimboyd, and Gimboyd says,
Bo.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Look at this man. He is so street. He is so street.
Yeah.
Says, hi guys, great show. Fantastic to hear some advice from one of the true greats of the game tonight. And Johnny Chan wasn't bad either.
Hey.
Oh, very funny. As requested, I thought I'd let you know that me and a few friends will be having a home game this weekend. Unfortunately, there are no casino games around here on a weekend. It's just for a bit of fun and a few drinks with some mates. Thanks to the forum, we've met up with Dead Spiders, a fellow forum poster, and play on the TV tables, and he'll be joining our game for the first time. Well, that's cool. It's like a whole poker community, like a family. People are getting to know each other. That brings a
That's
tear to
very
my
cool.
eye. I like it.
That's what we want. This
You
is
know
what we
what?
want to know about.
This is very true, because even having met some of the regulars at the poker club tonight, and they were saying the same thing, because it can be quite solitary playing online poker. But to meet up with all the other people
Well-
with the same interest is great.
We keep going back to the Johnny Chan interview. Of course, we're going
Of
to do
course.
that for the rest of our time on the show.
Rest of my life, yeah.
Yeah. One of the big things is how much enjoyment you can't. You know, he was on.
Yeah.
He was on for 50 minutes, and before and after that he was on, that we met with him. You can't fake the amount of enjoyment that he
Yeah.
has, and clearly
Very
the
true.
passion that he has for poker. And I've always said this from when I started on the show, and Casper has always said it as well. If you don't have fun when you're playing poker, please don't play.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. I mean, everything in life should be about that, and including your job should be about that too. If you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't be doing it, in my personal view. Certainly with poker, if you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't be doing it. Even if you're doing it to earn money, you should still enjoy it. Johnny Chan clearly enjoys it. Gimboyd's got exactly the right idea.
Yeah.
Long weekend, he's chilling out with some friends. It's
Yeah.
going to be great.
That's nice, and meeting up with some of the other forum posters. That's a fantastic idea.
It's
I
great.
love that.
Really good.
And he says, I think the forum is a great place to meet like-minded players, and hopefully a few of us will be meeting up at Aspers in Newcastle in a few weeks. And that's very cool.
One day, Cara, I'm going to take you to Aspers in Newcastle.
Really? Is that a good one?
It is it's quite new. When I lived in Newcastle about 3 years ago, it
Yeah.
wasn't there. It's new, and it's a beautiful, beautiful poker room. It's the nicest
Cool.
poker room I've been in the UK. And the players are incredibly friendly in Newcastle.
I remember you saying this, actually, so that's, yeah.
It's the nicest. James Browning, who lives up there, describes it as poker heaven, and he's right.
Oh, lovely.
Because the tournaments and the cash games are really, really lively. The players are friendly, and the card room is beautiful.
You can't ask more than that.
You get free food.
Do they have donuts?
I'll ask.
Okay.
If they know you're coming
If
up.
it's poker heaven.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we have an email here from Joff, who we were just watching play in Beat the Presenter, and he says, hi, chaps. Not so
What?
much a chap, personally, but, you know, I
What,
know
are
where
you
you're
gonna
going
be
with
Are you
that.
going to be one of the gang or not?
True, okay. I'll be one of the guys. Hi, chaps. Joff here. I'm having my weekly home game with my mates. We only play £5 freeze-out tourneys for fun, but we all know how each other play. I can't play live games because I'm a dealer at a casino and I'm not allowed in any casinos. There you go. Well, that's cool. You
That's
can
cool.
go and have your home game with your friends.
And I think it's really, really cool playing with players that you know how they play. It actually makes poker a lot more interesting.
Does it?
Well, this is one of the things I think that online poker loses, which is that, I mean, it's not quite the same for our Poker Night Live players because a lot of them play with each other regularly. But most online games, when you guys play online, you don't know who you're playing with. And it makes it less interesting because you have to play in a more straightforward fashion. If you play in a home game every week with your mates or with people you play against regularly, or if you go to the same card room every week, you get to know people, and then it becomes a real mental joust. Because if they know that you always make the same move with a certain hand, if you then do the opposite, you can throw them out, or they can do the same to you, and it just has a little extra level, I think. Plus
Yeah.
the banter.
You can't beat that banter.
Can't beat the banter.
Bit of banter in there. Right, very quickly, last text here from someone who's not said it, what their name is. How should I play pocket jacks when my raise has been re-raised?
No idea.
Depends on position, depends on the table,
See,
depends
Kara
on the
knows.
stakes, it depends on how people have been acting in the past on other hands. Depends on the notes you've taken on the players, depends on your bankroll. I don't know, what else could it depend on?
Stack size in a
Stack
tournament.
sizes, position
I
in the
don't know.
tournament.
Jacks are vulnerable when they've been re-raised. Sometimes you should call, sometimes you should fold, sometimes you should go all in. As Kara said, it's incredibly situational question.
Yeah, sorry about that. I wish we could be more specific. If you want us to be more specific, or him to be more specific, in fact, send us a text and let us know exactly where this would be, Jax.
Where all that happened.
Where all it happened. Right, we're going off to a break now,
I'm
but we
having a
will be
donut.
back soon. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We're going to share a donut. Don't know what you're doing, but we'll see you soon. Hello and welcome back to Poker Night Live. Here we are. It's a bank holiday weekend. We're taking you right through till Saturday. In fact, it is Saturday now.
It's a bank holiday weekend.
It is.
Oh, what are you going to do?
I'm going to be here on Sunday working.
Cool.
Yeah. I have
with?
no idea who with. No
Oh.
idea. I'm working a night for Michelle because she needed the night off or something. So
Slacker.
I'm going to be here. No, I don't think so.
She's a slacker.
She's not.
Well, she's
And it was her
skiving.
birthday.
She
and
did
we
work
all
on her
wish her-
birthday, to be fair. That's
Exactly.
commitment. That is commitment to the cause.
And I wish her a happy birthday. But enough of all this.
Enough.
Tell us what we're doing now.
We're going to the final of the Poker Player Shootout. And in a packed show, we've been trying to get everything in. We've got to get this in, guys. We'll
yeah.
do some of your emails over the top of it, maybe.
Yep, good idea. Cool.
Let's
go
to
look.
it.
Here we go. Now, this is the Poker Player Shootout.
Yeah.
It's a very exciting multi-table tournament. Let's get some information on this.
Well, it's a shootout tournament, Kara. And what that means is you play a series of single table tournaments.
Right.
And if you win your table, you move through to the next level.
I see. So different from a multi-table.
Different from a multi-table. There are multiple tables involved, but it's not a multi-table. This is the final, so these guys have all won two sit and goes, if you like. They've won two single tables to be in this final. They've all won a share of some money. It's a free roll. You can join in on a future Friday night by getting Poker Player magazine, getting the access code. The winner of this table we're watching now will join me and the rest of the Pokeball team in the studio to pay live for their share of £8 grand.
I love it. I love it.
Good stuff, eh? So they're playing for a really cool prize.
Oh, yeah. And there we go. So this table we've got here, blinds are at 10 and 20. We've got all of our players still here, so it's different from a multi-table in that as we see people being knocked off the tables won't be amalgamated down into fewer numbers of tables as Nick was just going through.
This is like a final table.
This is the final
It's
table.
a final table.
And there we go. So Sharky Shark, Chips and Cheesy, Victoria Jane, How Not to, Steflex,
How not to.
Joe,
Cool.
Aces, and Stir. I'll call him Stir. See, this is the trouble.
You are amazing.
I know, aren't I? I go through the names just to see if I can actually say them all. Realize I can't,
Yeah.
and let's look at the poker instead.
Cool.
Right, so pair of sixes. Pair of sixes won it. There we go. Sturminator, as I'm
Sturminator.
reliably informed, in seat one. Well done. Right, so the blinds are at 10 and 20, as we said, so this is the beginning of this final table. We can probably expect to see a little bit of tight play. They've all started with their 1,500 chips.
Yeah, and they all get a share of the prize money, but in a sense, it's winner takes all, because only the winner will get to come through to the live tournament and play for the big money. So let's see how that affects them. Sometimes that does make people play tighter. Queens for Joe MCC.
Yeah, that's a nice hand. Even if a queen comes up for chips and cheesy, it's not going to beat it. And so at this point, I imagine that these people will be seeing what their opponents are like, taking a look at the different playing styles, figuring out who's loose, who's tight, who's aggressive, who's not, sussing out the table.
Well, I'm not a fan of game plans because I think you need to be responsive to what's happening. But having said that, if I was playing in a final like this, I would have a game plan.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to change it if things were going differently to what I thought. But there's a decent amount of play here. I want to finish first. It's winner takes all. My game plan would be to play very tight early on and hope that people made mistakes and went out. And then be prepared to open up when it gets down to about 3 or 4-handed, because what you often find in winner takes all is that when you get down to 3 players, 4 players, people get very, very tight.
Right.
Because they feel like they're within touching distance of the big prize. If they make a mistake, they're out. So then you can start to bully and make some chips. That would be my game plan. Having said that, if everybody's got the same game plan and it's really, really tight early on, you can change your plan and steal early on and make some chips, because people perhaps are going to be conscious of winning the prize, not making a mistake from the get-go.
Yeah.
So, different ways to skin the chaffinch, Cara.
Many ways to skin a chaffinch.
Many ways to skin a chaffinch, we know that.
Ah, yes. Although they don't really have skin, they more have feathers, but still.
They have skin under the feathers?
Well, yeah, but you have to
Where do
take
you
the
think
feathers
chicken
off
skin
first.
comes from?
Well, listen, I plucked chickens. I understand this. The whole
That's
concept.
illegal, isn't it?
That's really rude.
Was it rude?
I grew up in a farm, for crying out loud.
Sure.
Moving on.
Battle of the Aces. Battle of the Kickers, actually, is what I mean to say. Well, tough fold for Sturminator, but he makes it.
Yeah. Yeah, a pair of aces looks nice, but what if you're up against another pair of aces with a better kicker? Always keep it in mind, what might your opponent have? This is something I forget to do. Look at the flop. What might they have?
And also, you must... Top pair wins a decent amount of pots, but this is an oft-repeated refrain by me.
Yes.
How you play top player... Player? Jesus wept, man. How you play top pair is one of the tests of a no-limit hold'em player.
Right.
How good your judgment is as to when to push your top pair, when to fold your top pair, that is one of the key tests. Because you have to remember, it is just one pair, and many times it's beat. But also, you know, people will bet top pair with a bad kicker. They will sometimes bet busted draws, that kind of thing. So it can be tricky. How Not To has won the flopping contest here. He's flopped his pair of queens. What was that, Cara Scott?
In my head, I can see what a flopping contest might look like, and it's funny. This is... It's late. I do apologise.
What a brilliant idea. An international flopping contest.
Could be an Olympic
People
sport.
just turn out and see who's the floppiest.
I am sorry.
That's brilliant.
Oh, boy. Right, pair of queens, ever how not to. Beats out a pair of jacks for Victoria Jane. I may have wanted to, I don't know, bet out on that and try to push her off, but I'm just trying to cover up the whole flopping contest thing.
It's good. I think it's going to catch on. Now, we're in the early stages. Have we got a suitable email?
Well, I've got a very long email here. Should we do that, or should we do a short one?
No, do
first?
a short one, please.
Okay. I bow to your superior poker knowledge, Nick Weatherall.
That's not poker knowledge, that's just laziness. I want a short one.
Let's see what we got. We've got one here from someone named Jan Ace Ace. Oh, Ace Ace Gets God. See, sometimes it takes me ages to figure out what people's screen names are.
I know.
Met Bono U2.
Yes.
And I've always thought he was Bonu too. Because the U isn't capitalized in his screen name. It just looks like Bonu. I don't get it. Okay, there we go. That all being said, let's move on to
Kara's
the
going through a
email.
funny spell.
I am a bit, aren't I?
That's brilliant.
Oh, I've had far too much caffeine. Okay, good evening, foxy
So
and
me-
fabulous looking Kara.
Good
and
call.
Nick the hair.
That's out of date, isn't it?
It is
Am
a
I
little
still
bit.
the hair?
But you've got lovely hair still. You do. Anyways, just a quick question. I see people describing their window losses. Okay, if you're going to snort and laugh.
Sorry.
I can't read.
Sorry.
Okay, here we go. Just a quick question. I see people describing their wins or losses in terms of 100 big blinds. For example,
Sure.
I am up 3 big blinds to 100 or 2 big blinds per 100 in cash games.
Yeah.
What exactly does the BB mean here? Because he's done the BB as the abbreviation.
It just means the amount of money. So
Yeah.
if they're playing if your regular game is 2-4 no limit cash, if you were up 50 big blinds, you would be up 50 times the big blind in a 2-4 limit cash game, which is $4. So you'd be up $200. But it's just a way of explaining win rates and loss rates that's understandable no matter what level of game you're playing in.
Oh, I see.
Because if you were making 5 big blinds an hour, that would be the same win rate whether you were playing in a 1-2 game or a 1,000, 2,000 game.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Is that? No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant, what I meant I meant, have I been clear?
Yes.
Do you understand? Do you understand, you dopey wench?
Yeah, that was the look on your face there. Yes, I do get the concept. Thank you.
Can you follow?
Mr. Wealthall.
Yes, well. No, so
Sir.
yeah, it's just a way of describing win rate or loss rate.
That makes sense. He goes on to say, what would you regard as a good win rate once you have a statistically significant sample? That should mean you can be confident to move up a level in a cash game.
King Jack for Steph.
He's not sure. It's a difficult question, isn't it?
Well, it's an easy question for limit games.
Right.
In limit, the convention is if you're winning, a good profitable player would expect to win 1.5 big blinds per hour. So if you're playing 20-40 limit Texas Hold'em, you should be making $60 an hour. If you're making more than that, then you're doing extremely well. If you're making less than that, then you should possibly be playing a lower game.
Right.
So for limit games, it's extremely clear. That's a very evident metric. There is not an accepted win rate for no limit games.
Okay.
Or there's not one that I'm aware of. If anybody out there has got one, it's poker@pokernightllive.co.uk. I haven't seen anybody do any work on that, so I'm not quite so sure. I would imagine higher, but not a little bit too much higher.
Okay, well that's interesting. He does say he's enjoying watching while doing a bit of late night ironing, so it's nice to know that our viewers are out there taking care of the nitty-gritty details of their lives while they're watching the show. Doing a bit of late night ironing. Make sure you do not leave the iron face down on the ironing board while you're watching the show, because I know it can be gripping and exciting, but if you do that, you risk losing your house. Right. And he says he reached the MTT final table for the first time last night, so well done, Jan. That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. And thank you for the email.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. Right, so we've got the shooter. The blinds have gone up to 15 and 30, so obviously it's a bit of a different blind structure than a single table tournament. As I said, it's kind of a cross, isn't it, between the two? Yeah,
it's a cool structure. You get plenty of play, actually. You get 12-minute rounds and a good blind structure. So, yeah, there's opportunity to play poker. It's not extremely fast or anything like that.
Yeah, it's good. Lots of play there. So, queens there for...
Shaky Shark.
Shaky
and an opportunity
Shark.
to make a re-raise, which he does.
Right, so the top prize here is $300 tonight, I do believe. And obviously the seat in to win, a potential of winning the $8,000, which is up for grabs in the final.
That's what they're really all here for.
Well, and $300 sweetens the pot just that bit
For
more.
no entry fee, remember?
Oh yeah, that's
free
fantastic. I love free rolls. I think it's a wicked idea.
It's not bad, is it?
Oh, it's not bad at all. It's great. There's a total prize pool here of $1,000 tonight, which is fab. So the first person to go out is going to take home $50, and for a free roll, great. They've sat down. Maybe they didn't make it into the live final. They've still come away with $50. Hurrah.
Hurrah, indeed.
Hurrah. And there we go. Not too much loose play, not too much mad fish behaviour on this table.
Well, these guys are all winners, remember. They've all won
Yes.
2 single tables tonight. So that means A, they know what they're doing, and B, they're in good form because they've come through a lot of play to get to this point.
Fantastic. It's an excellent thing. So it's nice to see a lot of good players sat on a table together. Although it's always interesting to kind of throw someone into the mix who, I don't know, shakes things up a bit. Maybe not as much of a tight, considered, well thought out, methodical player.
If you're trying to make money at poker, you definitely don't want to be sitting with a table of tight, considerate players.
No.
There's got to be somebody on there that you can make money off.
I know, it's funny because in a lot of sport, people like an opponent who is their match. Say if we're talking about boxing or we're talking about any sort of martial arts, you like to have a really good match. So the people who are in charge of setting up the matchmaking for, say, a boxing match or a martial arts match, they do their best to make sure people are evenly matched when they step into the ring so that people can see a real test of skill. But if you're a poker player, I'm guessing that your dream opponent is not going to be anywhere near you in skill level, and in fact is probably going to be someone who you could just win a lot of money from. Would I be unfair in saying that?
That's absolutely right. There is an interesting phenomenon.
Yep.
Just make a note of this hand.
Interesting phenomenon, indeed. Ooh, an ace comes down on the flop. Very nice. Jack, 10, Jack, Queen. Need a king there for a straight. Exterminator bets into it. What is Joe MCC going to do? Ooh. Bumps it up to 270. Exterminator stumps it up.
Well, Exterminator keeps calling, which is reasonably annoying if you're Joe MC, who's just betting a draw. He's bet all in again.
Oh, boy. He's betting a draw, which didn't happen. Oh, my goodness, Exterminator had.
Got him to
The
fold.
aces. Lost a lot of money on that hand. Lost a lot of chips.
He did. And I'd question his play there, to be honest.
I think you just did.
Well, what was the board then? It came a 7 at the end, isn't it? The board paired at the end. And my point would be, with that hand, the Exterminator really should have made his decision on the turn.
Right.
Because he's put quite a lot of chips into the pot. So if he believes that his ace high is best, that's what he's saying when he calls that bet on the turn. So what's he hoping to hit on the river? He can only hit, what did he have, ace 6, didn't he?
Yeah.
To improve his hand, he can only hit an ace or a 6.
Right.
Now if he hits the ace, that doesn't make any difference, interestingly. Because his pair of aces is either good or it isn't.
Right.
Right? So if he hits an ace, unless Joe MCC has got 2 pair not involving the ace and he then overtakes him, probably the ace isn't going to make that much difference. He's probably not going to hit a 6. So I'm not probably being very articulate, but my point is, if he's calling a bet on the turn, he should call a bet on the river, unless the river card is particularly scary.
Right.
And that pairing of the board with the 7s was not particularly scary, because he can't possibly believe that Joe MCC has bet all the way with 7s.
Yeah.
So what he's done is he's called a bet on the turn and hoped he gets to see Joe MCC's card on the river for free. His hand on the river for free. Does any of that make sense?
Kind of.
I think I should stop trying to explain complicated concepts at this time of the night.
Okay. I don't think I'm helping very much, I'm afraid. I'm trying to look encouraging.
You're very good at doing that.
Thank you.
Your support is boundless and very necessary.
Well.
Got an email for us, Ms. Scott?
I can find you one. I certainly can. Let's see what we've got for you. Mr. Weatherall.
Incorrect, please leave.
Oh. We have one here from Lothian. Ken, Lothian 49, says he's looking for some advice. He's going to his first live game tomorrow. Well, good luck, Ken. He says, I've been playing online for 2 years now. Made a nice profit playing $3 to $10 single table tournaments. In what way will a live game be different from online play? I know that the people that I'm playing against have limited poker experience and are wary about me due to my online experience. Oh, well, that's a nice bonus to be able to walk into it with. Could you advise me as to the best way to play these people? I don't really want to win all the games as I'd like to be invited back, but I feel it'd be unfair not to play my best game. Oh, God, yeah. You got to play your best game no matter where you sit.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Really?
Well,
I suppose if he wins everything, they just won't invite him back.
in life, Kara, all that really matters is you got to know what you want.
Right.
You got to know your outcome. If his outcome is to be a good presence in the game, be invited regularly, and win money in the long term, and have a good time in the long term,
right,
he shouldn't play his best game. Why would he play his best game?
Huh.
That'd be a stupid thing to do.
Well,
if his best game is just going to take all the money. Stu Unger, if you read Behind the Shades, which is a quality book about Stu Unger, one of the more interesting people to have walked the planet.
Oh, definitely.
He was the best gin rummy player of all time. And the reason he took up poker, one of the reasons he took up poker is that he couldn't get a game of gin rummy because he was so much better. And his problem was he couldn't hustle. So he would sit down in a money game and he would obliterate his opponent. And as a result, because he'd play his best game, because he would try and seek and destroy.
Okay.
As a result, the person that he played against would never play him again because he was so much better than them.
Fair enough.
So playing his best game didn't give him the best outcome.
Right.
So if Ken's saying that he doesn't want to always be invited back, then he should dump some money sometime.
Okay.
Don't take too much money out of the game. That's just common sense.
So don't bleed them dry.
Don't bleed them dry. Give them a shot. Gamble a bit.
Ah. Okay. Well, that's an interesting thought. So there you go, Ken. That's for you. Now, what we're going to do here on the show, Poker Night Live, is we're going to fast forward this game just a little bit because we do want to make sure that we see the end of this. So we're going to lose a couple of players. Victoria Jane and Sturminator are about to go. They're the short stacks there at the table anyways. I'm afraid we're not going to be able to see them go, but you'll have to just take our word for it. They were valiant in their efforts. And we lost another one as well. Aces BC is gone, and we're down to the final five. And there we go, because we do want to be able to see the entire final table of this game, but it did start a bit late, so we need to just fast forward a bit so that we can actually see the final. So there you go, that's why we've done that. Apologies to anyone who is miffed.
Miffed.
Yep.
Good word.
Thanks.
Just the other thing to Kenny asked about live play versus online, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how is it different? What way should he change his game up? You know what? I don't think we should tell him to not go in there with his A game straight off. He's never really played live.
Well,
he's not really sure how.
Kind of a conflict in his question there, isn't there?
Well, there you go. I think he should probably go in with his A game, do the best he can, and just see where it falls. Because maybe his A game for online poker really isn't going to help him in live poker.
Well, it just... I mean, you may be right. It just totally depends on the players he's playing against, as poker always does.
Well, they're quite new, is what he's saying.
Right.
They have limited poker experience.
Well, you definitely don't want to play... What you don't want to do is you don't want to go in there and play really tight, because that'll stick out like a sore thumb and it will make you unpopular. There is an art to winning at poker over the long term if you continually play with the same people. And if that's your objective, then you definitely don't want to beat them up too much. You want to play some rubbish hands and show them that you're willing to gamble sometime.
This is true. Sorry, I'm gazing lovingly at my signed card.
You are.
Queen of Hearts.
Who's it signed by, Kara?
That would be Johnny Chan.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. How not to take the pot down with top two pair. But yeah, Ken, in terms of live versus online, it's just a case of getting some experience, mate. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just remind yourself it's the same game. It's the same rules. You get two cards. The probabilities are all the same. It's not that tricksy.
Yeah, tricksy.
Tricksy. And it's just a case of getting used to handling chips and the etiquette and that kind of thing. If you go and play in a casino, that's different again. People tend to play slightly different in a casino to online. They call a bit less and they play a bit tighter, I think. But yeah, good luck, have fun, that's the key.
Yeah,
I know, Johnny Chan told me.
And if he says it...
Who's getting bored of that?
It must be true. And if they are getting bored of it, we can't hear them here in the studio,
tough
so
luck.
sorry.
Tough luck, you got it for another half an hour.
Yep. It and us for another half an hour. So there you go. If you do have any questions about poker in general, about some of the stuff you've seen here tonight, if there's anything that you need help with in your home game, or you just want us to give you a bit of a shout out for your home game maybe, because it is the bank holiday weekend and a lot of people are out there playing a bit of poker, you can send us a text or you can send us an email. Now, you can email us poker@pokernightlive.co.uk, or you can text us.
You can. Stefflex has made a good move here. I don't know how he knows it, but his timing is impeccable. Big bluff.
Yeah, it is a big bluff. It's a massive bluff. And Chips and Cheesy decides he doesn't want any part of that. And says bye-bye to that pot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So he's got King 10 suited there. That's how not to. It's not a bad hand, except Shaky Shark has a pair of kings. Jack 10 there from Joe MC, and he's decided to go up to 2 times the big blind there. See what he can get, asking a question. Shaky Shark's not going to be putting that down. Pair of kings is too nice, far too nice. But does he call it, or does he re-raise it? Oh, he re-raises it. In fact, he goes all in with kings, and he hits trips. Very nice. Shaky Shark has just taken Joe MCC
with a full house over a flush
out of the tournament. Wow, the shootout is over for Joe MCC. Very nice full house there. Kings over 5s.
Very nice. Nice commentary too, Kara.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You can so commentate on poker now.
You know what? I've listened to you guys do it.
And learned how not to do it, and now you're up to speed, right?
Well, I'm doing the best I can on it. There we go. How Not To has gone all in as well. And we've just lost How Not To with King 7. He's just gone out against Ace 4. So it was Ace High there. Shaky Shark takes all of How Not To's chips. Bye-bye. And we're down to the final 3. That was quick, wasn't it?
Moving fast, aren't we?
Zipping through that. There we go. That was fast. Stefflex has Jack Queen. Now he is very much the large stack, up against Ace 7, Chips and Cheesy. Pair of 10s come down. Here comes a 9 and a 2, and thank you very much, the Ace High gets it.
Yeah, and he's
double
back in with a fighting chance.
Yeah.
He's now got 6.5 times the big blind.
Yeah, well done. Still 8,000 chips is going to be tough to beat from Stefflex.
Oh, Kara can all change so fast.
It can, in a heartbeat. Just like that. And there we go, he takes at least the blinds there, and that's 300 chips, and that is nothing to sneeze at. That's quite a good one. Ace Jack, and again he hits some nice cards. Maybe he's on the comeback trail. What are you going to do with it, Chips and Cheesy? Ooh, he bets half his stack. 700. 3.5 times the big blind he bet. And he's doing pretty good there. Slowly chipping away at Stefflex's stack. Shaky Shark has a pair of queens there, ladies.
All the ladies.
Oh, the ladies. Yeah, Lady Luck and her good-looking sister.
I don't know what you're saying anymore.
I was just wondering if you were listening. And
I heard it made no sense to me.
It's all right. It didn't make much sense
I just thought
generally.
it was funny.
It was better than my...
I can barely see straight now, Kara. Your flopping contest is the best thing I've seen all night, and I saw Johnny Chan.
Why, thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you again.
I'm here all night.
I pretty much am. I think I've eaten, what, 3 donuts now?
Pretty impressive, Kara.
It is pretty impressive, especially considering I can understand it now, why some of the regular players who we met at the poker club earlier tonight said to me, in fact it was TMDVD who said to me, my goodness, you're a lot smaller than you look on telly. Apparently on telly, I look massive. Must be all the donuts.
Just talking about your height.
Mm-mm.
You're saying you're fat?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so your response to that has been to eat 3 donuts.
Yeah.
That is quality.
Thanks.
You are a standout girl.
I kind of think so. I've always been of that opinion.
I can verify that.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Well, I don't think you're as big as you look on TV either.
Well, it does add 10 pounds to you.
I was talking about you look little on TV. Except for Eamon Holmes, who looks thinner on TV than he is in real life.
Really?
It's really weird.
Huh.
He must have done some deal with the devil. Because, I mean, obviously he doesn't look thin, he's a big lad, but in real life he's massive.
Can I tell you who else is massive?
Yeah. Michelle Orp.
No, yeah, she's huge. Yeah, right. It's all that cake she ate for her birthday.
Yeah.
No, I won't, because I'll end up just... No, I will say it. Judy Finnegan.
Really?
Yeah, I was on Richard and Judy once, but then she wasn't very nice to me either, so...
Well, she's a troubled person, isn't she?
Yeah, and Shaky Shark has a pair of aces there. Back to the game. Pair of aces against a pair of twos. Steph, like,
she's not going to sue you, Cara. It's all right.
No? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just your opinion.
It is.
And does not represent the opinion, views, or...
in any way.
Of Poker Zone and its partners.
Yeah. My former employers.
Hey, you brought them Johnny Chan, they can't fire you.
This is true. This is true. Shaky Shark, there you go. Now Chips and Cheesy has gone up to 2,000 chips. So he's back up again to 10 times a big blind. And the blinds have gone up, so that's not doing too shabby there. Queen 4, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Letting it go. Probably
there you
smart.
go. Well, Chips and Cheesy is a real factor in the tournament now. Great comeback.
I like a good comeback story. It makes one all warm and fuzzy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be a great story if he won it.
Yeah.
You know, if you had to write an article about this final table, it would really help.
Certainly would. Now, one of our regular viewers, Scotty, sent us in this massively long email.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should read it, even though it is massively long, because he was supposed to get to the poker club tonight in person, but something came up.
Can you praise it?
I think I will do.
You're just going to struggle because we're going to, at some point soon, we're going to have a key hand, aren't we?
I know, obviously, and you can cut in and overtake at any point.
All right, I will.
Feel free.
Yeah.
Right. But Scotty was supposed to come down and play live with some of the players today, and he didn't get a chance to make it. So we're very sorry, Scotty, and hopefully you do that again at some point. Basically, what he's talking about is how long it takes him to make decisions. He was playing, I believe, in a live game. In a tournament, it was a £10 rebuy. They'd just gone past the rebuy period. There's 2 tables left. He's second in chips on his table. And he's doing pretty good. He's up against someone who's very aggressive and likes to push people about. The guy knew that Scotty was playing tight and probably thought he could push him off a hand. To cut a long story short, as I was just trying to do here nicely, he called. Scotty was knocked out of the tournament after a really long decision. See, now I am cutting to the chase here.
Okay.
Long decision, took him ages. It said it probably took him 3 minutes plus to make this decision to whether or not to call. He decided to call and was knocked out of a tournament. And then he was ridiculed by the rest of the players, saying that they couldn't understand how it took him so long to make a decision and that he probably should have folded. All right, his question is he thinks
it's a brilliant story, this.
I'm really not doing this so well. You know what, it would have taken just as much time to read the whole email.
Sure.
And now we don't have that time. So basically, he's figuring that he just outthought himself. He was going, what does he have? Does he have ace queen? Does he have ace jack? What does he have? What does he have? What does he have? He outthought himself, decided to call, and lost. He was outdrawn.
Well, he was outdrawn.
Okay, maybe he was outdrawn.
I mean, if I hadn't been awful for the last hour and a half, I could criticise you, couldn't I?
That was terrible, wasn't it? I'm looking through the email at the moment, trying to find out what he had. You know what? I don't think he says. You know what, Scotty? I'm terribly sorry that you couldn't come down.
What?
I'm moving on.
Please, keep our jobs. What? So to sum up, your summary is, Scotty, I'm sorry you couldn't come down. Thanks for the email.
I can't seem to make heads or tails of it. And there you go.
I'm trying to... Oh, okay, he has kings. That's
Yeah.
what he had. He had pocket kings.
Fabulous.
The chip leader, smooth called his raise. The player in the big blind with approximately 4,000 in chips also calls. The flop comes down Jack, Queen, Queen. Okay, so he's got pocket kings. The flop is Jack, Queen, Queen with 2 cards of the same suit.
Yeah.
The big blind checks. He bets 2,000 in. The chip leader almost instantly moves all in, and the big blind calls. Wow. So there's a lot of chips in that pot. I then go into the think tank, trying to put my opponent on a range of hands. Pre-flop, I had him on Ace Jack, Ace Queen, 10-10, Jack Jack, or 9-9. I felt that if he had Ace King, Ace Ace, or Queen Queen, he would have re-raised before the flop. I almost discounted him having King King, as of course I also had that. My view of him was that he was very aggressive and liked to push people about. He knew that I was tight and probably thought he could push me off a hand if indeed he was beat. The more that I thought about it, the more I decided that he either had Ace Jack or Ace Queen, and I reasoned that he was more likely to have Ace Jack than Ace Queen, because if he had Ace Queen, he would probably just have called my bet and waited until I bet again on the turn to set me all in when I would be pot committed.
We lost Chips and Cheesy. There is no fairy tale comeback. But thankfully, there is an end to you doing that email, because I've talked across it.
I've now read it out, so there you go. So he just took ages trying to think, what does he have, what does he have, what does he have? He chose the wrong thing, he got beat, and all the other players ridiculed him, which isn't very nice.
I almost dread asking this, but what does he want to know, Scotty?
He said...
Does he want to know if he made the right decision?
Yeah.
Is he concerned about the players
Yeah.
mocking him? Is he concerned about how long he took?
Well, I think he's wondering if it was such a clear decision. Is it clear-cut? Should he have just put it down?
No, it's not clear-cut, no.
Okay,
Against an
he's got
aggressive opponent,
Right.
it's not clear-cut. No.
So it was okay for him to sit there and think about it for 3 minutes?
It's always okay to sit there and think about it. If the rules allow you to think about it, whether you're online or live, if there's time there for you to think about a decision...
And you need the time.
Then it's always
Use
all
it.
right to think about it. I mean, you don't want to be holding up the game unnecessarily, but if you've got a decision for your tournament, and it's a difficult one, which that clearly is, then no, there's nothing wrong with that. And if players abuse you, tell them which horse to get on and ride away. That's the polite version.
Wow, that was really quite vehement.
I won't have it. I mean, I won't have it.
Neither will I.
No one abuses me at poker table, Caro.
No.
Nobody abuses you at poker table.
Yeah, they do.
They do, and then they get told they're going to be beaten up by Johnny Chan's bodyguards.
That's true.
And I don't stand for abuse from anybody. They're your chips. Here's how poker works. You get given some chips. You can do what the heck you like with them. Nobody can tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You can take time to think about a decision if it's within the rules for you to do that. If you're unnecessarily holding up the game, if you're, taking 3 minutes over deciding whether to raise with a pair of jacks or call before the flop, then, yeah, people can complain.
Yeah.
But if you're taking a decision over, something like that, which is a difficult call and it's for all your chips, then nobody can complain. And if anyone ever abuses your play, and this goes for anybody, anytime, any place, any situation, you tell them they're your chips and you do what you like with them.
Yeah. And you know what? Just being polite costs you no chips at all.
That's beautiful, Karen.
Thank you. I think it's important. I don't think there's enough just general good feeling towards humanity at the poker table sometimes.
That's true. Well, I think it is quite a selfish game, isn't it? And people sometimes get locked in a hate spiral, I like to call it.
Wow. Poetic.
Well, we're both quite poetic at this time, like with this amount of sugar in our bodies.
Oh, seriously, the sugar and the caffeine is just coursing through my veins at the moment. And there we go. Steph Flex is still very much the chip leader.
Yeah, heads
Shaky
up.
Shark is way below, but as you say, heads up. So that means it can turn around in a heartbeat.
It could do. Obviously, Stokes has the advantage. Steph Flex keeps getting dealt hands as well, so that helps.
Yeah, might slow him down a bit. Oof. Shaky Shark is a bit nervous about getting involved, probably, because he is so well covered in chips. He can push all in, and Steph Flex can, wow, a number of times over, call that and lose without it hurting him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Steph Flex can take a couple of risks to try and win the tournament if he wants to. He doesn't have to, but he can afford to make a mistake, whereas obviously Shaky Shark has got the constant pressure.
Yeah.
But one double through, and it's starting to look competitive. 2 double throughs, and he's the chip leader. So,
Yeah, that's true enough. That's important to remember. Shaky Shark with an ace-6 there. Yeah, they're not getting brilliant hands there. But heads up, that's what you expect, isn't it? So that's why you become more aggressive at heads up. And can play a lot different hands than you would at an 8-seat table that's full, I think. Right, 5-3 for Shaky Shark and a 7 queen for Steph Flex. And he's thinking about it. Oh, and he put in 1,000 and takes that down. So he's not even risking much. He's not pushing Shaky Shark all in. Just asking for half of his stack, and that's enough to push Shaky Shark off.
Yeah.
Because he is probably quite clear on the fact that, as you said, 1 double through, he's competitive, 2 doubles through, he's chip leader. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Sometimes, I mean, obviously you'd rather be the big stack heads up, but sometimes it can be difficult to play as the big stack because you know at some point the small stack's going to push his chips in.
Yep.
And what you don't want to do is you don't want him to double up. Oh, well, here, the chips are going to go in here, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I was right. Oh, the outdraw.
Oh.
Steph Flex for the redraw. Queen, Jack?
Oh,
No.
Look at that. And once you just say it and it happens.
This is the nature of heads up, I'm afraid.
Yep. Yeah, Steph Flex, just like that. But he had a lovely hand, and you can't fault him for.
Well, heads up, a lot of times when both players have decent aces, they put their money in the pot. And unlucky for Steph Flex, now he's got to win the tournament all over again.
Or not, as the case may be, and we will find out.
He's still got a slight edge. Still got a slight edge.
Yeah. Well, they're playing for the difference of $100 in prize money, plus a chance to do the live Poker Zone final with $8,000 up for grabs. So it is quite significant, this.
Big incentive. Steph Flex will probably call here. Shaky Shark's got the best hand, but quite a lot of the time you'll see a split pot. Oh, not anymore. Shaky Shark's hit the pair.
Oh, boy.
And this tournament's gone horribly wrong for Steph Flex in the last 4 or 5 hands.
And you know what? That'd be enough to push even the strongest-minded player into steam.
Shaky Shark with the aces is going to try and trap him now.
And he's hit his queen. And there we go. Now what's going to happen? Ooh, ooh. He's gone all in. Steph Flex has gone all in because he thinks he's got his queens, but Shaky Shark, oh, trip aces.
What a way to win. Trapped him, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He trapped him.
Didn't
and
raise before the flop and then checked on the flop.
And on the turn, had his trip ace just to add insult to injury. He didn't need it, but there it was. So that is lovely.
Shaky Shark, you will be joining us right back there in the Poker Zone studio for a bit of live poker.
It's very exciting.
And the chance to win a share of $8,000.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That's a very nice amount of money.
Another Poker Player shootout soon, guys. Not quite sure of the schedule, but if you get Poker Player magazine, it has they're Friday nights, it has the days on there, and also the access code you need. Doesn't cost you a penny.
Very nice.
Pretty cool.
That is very cool. And Poker Player magazine, thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
Right, we have a couple of emails left, so I'm going to go to one of these.
Delighted.
I'm going to try and read it better than I did the whole Scotty one. Sorry about the Scotty email
Impossible for you
debacle.
to fail in that mission, I think.
Oh, goodness, that was terrible, wasn't it? In my own defence, it's late and, well, no, there's no defence. I am sorry, Scotty. Here we go. An email from Kay, from beginning to end.
Here we go.
Oh, and this is quite groovy as well. She says, hey, Groover and good looker. Aww.
Which is which?
I am groovy, I know. You're the good looker.
Am I? Cool.
But I'm groovy, so there you go.
All right, so we both win. Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kay.
Thanks, Kay. She says, last road about a month ago. Chelsea were
I
unlucky
remember.
against Liverpool, by the way.
Oh, for God's sakes. Unlucky? Squeeze me?
I don't know what you're
They weren't
talking about.
unlucky. We completely dominated the game for 70 minutes. And then we conceded a ridiculous goal, which they were lucky to get. And then Chelsea had a little bit of drama at the end, but not much. Better team on the day.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Right.
And we won the cup.
Yawn.
Sorry. A whole football thing.
It's
Soccer
boring,
just-
isn't it? It's boring.
I just don't get soccer.
No.
Anyways, right. Asking for advice.
Foreigners, honestly.
Well, I like it and all,
Are you
but
even
I'm a
allowed to
rugby
work
girl.
in this country? Oh, yeah.
It's a cultural exchange. Thank you very
Fine,
much.
it's fine.
No fine.
Move
said
on.
Fine. Yeah.
Move on.
There we go. Asking for advice on my first home game. It was a roaring success, and I was the perfect host,
Oh, that's
losing
good.
all of my
I actually
cash.
I remember Kay's email.
Ah.
I'm glad it went well.
Yeah, sounds like it was fun as well. She said she lost all her cash. Ouch. That said, I'm still full of enthusiasm for Hold'em, and we plan to have another bash during the World Cup. Cool.
Cool.
Sadly, my partner's away at a family funeral. However, every cloud and all that, not wanting to miss a golden opportunity, I've been playing poker almost non-stop over the last couple of days. You must be very tired. Glory be to God, I've been very successful and won a huge amount of cash. Is this just a coincidence, or do you think that the fact that I'm able to fully concentrate on the game meant an upturn in fortune? If so, do you advise that I get rid of Loverboy in favor of a full house? I like that. It's a great question. All the best. P.S. No more poker for me after tomorrow. The priority is to get in the water, enjoy the run to the sun in West Cornwall. Surf's up. Dude. Surf's up. Dude. So should she get rid of Loverboy?
Yeah,
I think we're agreed on that.
I think we agree. It's quite clear.
I
Poker
take no
wins.
responsibility for that.
And it's not a coincidence that she's winning money when she's fully concentrating on the game. It's not a coincidence. How do we know that? Johnny Chan told us live on Poker Night Live. He told us it's all about full concentration.
Yeah.
And he knows all the things. So
all
that's
the things,
clear.
generally. All the things.
Generally.
Okay. Another email very quickly here from Gray. Says, hi guys, fab show as always. How cool is the Janmeister then? Very
cool. We don't ever call him the Chanmeister.
We only get to do that because we're close
Yeah, I don't think he
personal
liked it
friends.
though.
No.
No. Still?
His bodyguards didn't beat you up outside,
No, they didn't beat me up.
which is a good thing. I think if you tried to touch the watch again, they might have done though.
Yeah, that was pushing it, wasn't it?
Might have been just a little.
As were the 52 autographs.
Yeah. Could you sign this and this and this? Thanks very much. All right. Well, he says, great to see him on the show. Yeah, you're not kidding. And also, I can't say
Porrig.
Porrig Parkinson last night. You lucky, lucky people. Can I ask the both of you to please come down to the New Forest tomorrow night for our regular home game? Ooh, exciting.
Cool.
Nick and Dr. Tom once gave us some great advice when we tried Pot Limit Omaha for a change a few months back, but it's back to the usual no limit hold'em. The problem I have is that one of our players, known online as MCSCOMUK, reached the final table of your $2,000 added MTT tonight, and I only came 52nd. On top of that, he won the first Poker Player Magazine Grand Prix qualifier a couple of weeks ago and made third in the last one on Friday. He's on a bit of a run at the moment, and he needs taking down a peg or two. And I know that you two could show him how the pros play. I'm sorry, you two, as in you and Johnny, not as in you and I. Thanks in advance for the lessons, and keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much. That's
Thank you so much for the invitation.
New Forest, I think, is a bit far for me.
Bit of a trek, but if we're ever in that part of the world, we will so look you up.
Yeah.
And that's reminded us, obviously we haven't had time to show the final table of the $2,000 added
That's true.
tournament tonight. Apologies for that, guys. We've had such packed shows. I'm sure you know if you've been with us the whole time.
Yeah.
Travel 52 was the winner. And MCSCOM UK came in 7th.
Very well done. So well
Very
done to
well
you guys.
done.
Maybe you should go down to the New Forest and play, because I don't
Cool.
think I really am at a level where I could be playing MC Mama UK.
He still gets the same amount of cards as you, Kara. Everybody's got a
Same amount of
chance. Do
cards.
you remember when Johnny Chan was here?
Oh, I remember that. That was cool.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. Like
But
that.
he was very much, everybody starts somewhere, everybody's got a chance.
True.
That is, we've said it before, it's the brilliant thing about poker. Anyone can learn to be a world beater.
It's very true, and he said to me that the most important advice he could give me, or any beginner player, is don't play above your bankroll. Just find a game that you're comfortable
Absolutely.
with. Pick the right game, and that's important. So find the right game for you, where you're going to be comfortable, not using scared money, and just play and enjoy it. And I think that was the other lesson I took out of tonight.
Totally enjoy
it.
Be confident and focus on winning.
Yeah. Eye of the chaffinch, people. Eye of the chaffinch.
Eye of the chaffinch. That's what he was saying. He didn't say the words, but that's what he was saying, wasn't he? He was saying eye of the chaffinch.
Yeah, I think he was a little confused, actually, when we did say the words eye of the chaffinch.
Do you know what,
but-
though? Wasn't my favourite person in the studio tonight.
Really?
No,
Who was?
That was you.
Mine was you.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I'm again on Sunday. I'm not sure who with.
Cool.
And
Have a
you're
good
again
night.
on at some point.
Next week I'll be here.
Next week. And otherwise, have a lovely evening, and we'll see you very soon.
Have a
Good
great long
night.
weekend, guys. See you.